it's time to get you ready for the match with the Phoenix Rising pregame warm-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
On a 90-degree day in Sherman, Texas, Phoenix Rising travel above Dallas to take on Texoma FC in just their third ever competition in the Jägermeister Cup here in 2025. I'm Kevin Cardez, joined by my analyst tonight, Sammy O'Brien. Phoenix take on new faces, but a familiar foe now in the face of Solomon Asante, perhaps the greatest to ever wear the shirt here in Sherman, Texas, and Texoma. Sammy, pretty good day for some football, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Get to see a good old friend in Solomon Asante solo week, as Texoma had announced from starting the 22nd, and yeah, just a whole week of festivities honoring Solomon Asante, and yeah, it's going to be a good one tonight.
Solomon Asante, a native of the Ghana, played for Phoenix Rising a few years ago. When they split before the 2022 season, it was deemed a business decision, one in which the head manager at the time spoke about how if we had the highest payroll in the league, we would just keep him, but we can't short a club legend. He would then leave, and he would go out to places like Indy 11, Las Vegas Lights, and now Texoma FC down in USL League One, and he has been fantastic everywhere he went. It even started when he went to Indy, and he was the first ever USL Championship player to notch 50 goals and 50 assists in his career. One of the most immense players in USL Championship history, Sammy?
Yeah, absolutely. The only player in USL Championship history to win back-to-back MVPs, really just leaving his mark, a United States soccer legend, 54 goals and 44 assists, the Phoenix Rising all-time leader in goals and assists.
One of the greatest to ever wear it, if not the greatest to ever wear the badge, and now he'll get to take on his former club. He spent 4 years in Phoenix in his new home in Sherman, Texas, in the historic Bearcat Stadium in Sherman on this June 28th matchup between Texoma and Phoenix. Now we'll shift our focus towards the table, Sammy. Phoenix sits at 4th in their group. They sit in Group 2 in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Texoma sits down at 6th. They've only played one match over, so they have a little bit of catching up to do. Phoenix has only played 2. They have a shootout win, which counts for 2 points, and they have a loss. The format might not allow for a loss, though. It's sort of hard to tell.
No, I don't really think so, because out of the 6 groups, only the winner advances and then 2 wild cards. So it'll be the 2 next best teams by points. So really, if you're Phoenix, it is a win here tonight. It's 3 points or bust.
And you will mention how the sort of format works is that every group winner advances out of the initial stage. So if you win your group, you get an automatic entry into the knockout rounds. And then the final 2 spots are decided by the best 2 runners-up out of all 6 groups that are involved in the Jägermeister Cup. You have to be one of the 2 best, which means there is a chance that in a format where there are 7-team groups in which you do not play every team in your group, that there are going to be teams that win all of their games and still don't advance out of their group off rip, which is why we talk about, can you even lose a game and advance? It's only their 3rd ever comp, Sammy, in this entire competition, but it's one of those things where you start to weigh the pros and cons of what do we do in games like this? Who do we put out? It's been a brutal stretch. We'll get to what happens after this week in just a moment, but for your perspective, how do you approach Texoma playing a League One side in just your 3rd ever cup competition game in this specific cup?
Well, it's interesting because you go back to what Pa has said throughout the season and through every cup game. They're going to treat it the same way like a cup game, but in previous times and maybe even tonight, they're going to put out a lineup that is not the A lineup. Regardless, the A guys will be on the bench and probably come in as super subs later on if need be. But regardless, it's just a tough spot of figuring out what you need to do, and just it's ever changing, and the tiebreakers are also very interesting as well when you really get in the nitpicky part of it.
The nitty-gritty of the Jägermeister Cup, so many different little ins and outs that come from playing in this cup competition. One of the bigger ones is that goal differential and points for are really the big tie-breaking opportunities here in the cup. It's not about head-to-head. It's more about, can you score enough goals? Can you win enough in the shootouts? It's a very involved cup competition, one of the ones in which the league wanted to improve the pace and the scoring and make everything super offense forward. So there's a lot to go on, but we'll get to this road stretch. This is the 3rd game of 3 on the road in a row for Phoenix, one of their longest stretches in almost 2 years. They'll do it all over again after this upcoming home game, but finally, Sammy, they get to go home for the 4th of July and play Lexington.
Yes, they do, and that'll be a great refresher. Get to be home in front of the home fans. I know the players are looking forward to that. They've talked about it a lot. The travel gets a lot to them, especially today. The travel to Sherman, it's a flight to Dallas, and then it's a 2.5-hour bus ride. It's also like the flights across the country to Charleston, for example. You're taking a connecting flight. It's not a direct flight. It takes a toll on the players and the organization overall, and it really can even make a big impact on the field.
Phoenix has traveled thousands of miles over the last 3 weeks. They went all the way out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, came back home, then went all the way down to the Low Country and played Charleston in South Carolina. They come all the way back. Then, like Sammy mentioned, they fly into Dallas. They take a 2.5-hour bus ride up to Sherman, Texas. It has been a very, very long stretch. They finally get to come home before doing it all over again. But the light at the end of the tunnel, Sammy, are the Gold Cup guys coming back.
Yeah, it is absolutely, and you're going to get guys like Gerald Margarita back. We'll see him probably off the bench tonight, working him back in fitness-wise. We're also going to see Carl Saint probably wearing the captain armband tonight. He went off to represent Haiti, didn't really get to see much time on the field, but regardless, as Paul said, they're very happy to have a guy like him back, a glue guy on that back line.
Sort of filling in the gaps as the transfer window gets closer and closer to its final stanza in this open summer window, as well as everybody from the Gold Cup and World Cup qualifiers coming back. We'll lose Joel Margarita again later on in the year as he goes and plays for Curacao in the final stage of the group portion of qualifying for the World Cup. Curacao and Joel Margarita looking to make their first ever appearance in the World Cup. We have more on that. We have more on perhaps breaking a slide. 1 draw, 1 loss in their last 2 after one of their longest winning streaks in years as well, in the midst of their longest road stretch in almost 2. Back with all of that and more in just a moment on the Rising Radio pre-game warm-up show with Sammy O'Brien and Kevin Cardez.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
You're listening to the pregame warm-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Back for more on the Rising Radio pregame warm-up show, our second set of 3 today, as we get ready to warm you all up for Phoenix Rising and Texoma FC. Phoenix getting ready to take on the best to ever wear the badge in Phoenix Rising history, and they'll do it with this starting 11 tonight. It's an interesting one. Starting off the left, we have Emi Quacho making his second consecutive start, a center-back duo of Carl Fred Saint, the likely captain tonight, paired up with Academy product Braxton Montgomery right through the middle. Off the right, we have the ever-steady right back Colin Smith, and through the middle, a slightly new midfield pairing, something that we aren't exactly used to. Deepest lying will be J.P. Skiers as per usual, but off the left is the Academy kid turned pro, and Jamison Ping. Off the right is the new man on the block. It's Zian Emmers, and up top is going to be leading the line in Derek Formella. Off the left, Darius Johnson, and off the right, Charlie Dennis making a flash surprise start after starting his first game in a while just a couple weeks ago, returning to the bench, and now he returns back to the starting 11. Sammy O'Brien, lots to break down, but Emmers finally gets that marquee start to get his Phoenix Rising career rolling.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit from Emmers in his 3 appearances for Phoenix so far, 54 total minutes. He had 36 last week against Charleston. And Paul was talking about Wednesday at media that they've been trying to work him back into fitness. Obviously, he had been staying fit in the offseason from a season with Rapid Bucharesti, but he really hadn't played on the field since around February or so. So we're going to see how much he gets tonight, but regardless, it'll be good to see him out there in his natural position for Phoenix.
And the big change, and I wanted to sort of roll it out towards the end, Tristan Henry replaces Patrick Gorkovsky inside the pipes tonight for Phoenix Rising, although I would say likely that if I were to hedge my bets, not a indicative, indicator for what's happening for the goalkeeper battle, more so the fact that this is just a cup competition.
Yeah, definitely. Rakovsky, obviously shaky at the start. He and Tristan Henry kind of switched off, both getting benched at some point in the first few weeks of the season. And then Rakovsky came in, has been oh so good, especially oh so good in the Jägermeister Cup about a month back against New Mexico with 3 penalty saves in a shootout where Phoenix went on to win and get those 2 points. So yeah, regardless, it's probably just a cup game move, getting the guys loose, giving them some experience.
Looking for experience and a bench that's slightly more experienced. I want to touch on that real quick before we move on. Ryan Flood, Pierce Rizzo, Axel Asenge, Hope Avayevu, Isan Nino Sako, Cyrus Kowal, and Joel Margarita making his return from his international duty. A much more experienced and professional bench than what we've been used to for the past few weeks.
Yeah, a lot more experience and professional. We saw multiple academy guys. They got very thin at the end of that Charleston game. Phoenix used every single player on a professional contract. But regardless, they will have those guys if come needs be, again, playing a USL League One side. So again, nothing, shouldn't expect too much out of the ordinary, but again, in cup competitions, like we've seen, you never know. For example, in the US Open Cup, Texoma lost to, I believe, a UPSL side. So regardless, Phoenix is ready, and they will have kind of those super subs per se off the bench if need be.
Looking for super subs, and now we'll go through Texoma FC's lineup. It's still a little shaky as to who's going to be on the bench tonight. We'll update you as that gets closer. But the big change would be Aaron Seeger replacing everybody else between the pipes. It was Javier Garcia at one point during the season, Mason McCready at another point in the season, but now Seeger makes his first ever appearance this season for the club period for Texoma inside the pipes. A back 5 is what we're being told of Perkins, Staszewski, Chavez, the captain tonight, Leland Gray, and Reed Valentine filling out a back 5 that'll likely turn to a back 3 in possession and shift forward with a much more crowded midfield. Their head coach, Adrian Forbes, in his very first year with Texoma, has really liked a 4-1-4-1. It's been his marked sort of signature style, one that isn't played too often over in the States. A midfield 4 of Johnny, Diego Pepe, who is the brother of Ricardo Pepe, as well as Damini and Benamna, and up top is going to be number 7, Brandon McManus. And unfortunately, it appears, Sammy, that Solomon Asante isn't on the bench at all tonight for Texoma.
Yeah, I'd be very shocked to see if he wasn't on the bench at all. Again, it is solo week, so it would be definitely a shock if he doesn't get in the lineup at all, regardless, seeing a few old friends as well within the organization. So we'll see how that one plays out, especially with Texoma not bringing out, again, maybe their A lineup as well in a game that they really would need to win if they want to have any sort of light at the end of the tunnel in this group too.
And let's talk cup competition, because we've experienced the other side of this coin. When we played Houston Dynamo, Sammy, we watched Phoenix go against a much more expensive MLS team than the USL Championship side of Phoenix Rising. We watched them pull players off the bench that would have likely been the best player in Phoenix, bar none, no question about it. Now, the coin sort of flips, and Phoenix has a very professional, internationally experienced bench of players, whether it's Isan Nino Sako, who has literally played League One out in France, Jurl, who just got back from starting 3 straight games in CONCACAF Gold Cup, drawing a team like Canada, one of the 25 best national teams in the entire world, and they play Texoma FC. Look through it at the Texoma lens. How do you compete against that talent when it's not only starting in the 11, but coming off the bench as well?
Yeah, it's a lot of just, not perfection is not necessarily the right word, but it's no mistakes and making the absolute most of your opportunities. Something don't want to harp on, but Phoenix did not do a lot of last week. Pod talked about that. But going back to Texoma, it's going to be a lot of that against a weaker Phoenix lineup with a couple of academy kids out there, well-turned professionals other than Braxton Montgomery. But regardless, it'll be taking advantage of those opportunities early, something that Texoma has emphasized in previous weeks, taking advantage of those opportunities early and just knowing that you're only going to have so much time before Phoenix can maybe even bring the big guns out, which happened to Phoenix back against Houston Dynamo.
Those missing men mentioned by Sammy O'Brien tonight, the availability report for Phoenix Rising: Potmar Boy, Mohamed Traore, Noble Okello, Damian Rivera, and Remy Cabral round out your 5 missing men from the squad tonight. Potmar Boy closer than ever to returning to the pitch, but not quite there yet. Mohamed Traore underwent knee surgery just a few weeks ago, posted that on his public Instagram story, as did Remy Cabral. Unsure of where Noble Okello is, and now the midfield, Sammy, becomes a bit of a question because with an academy kid turned pro who hasn't had all that many minutes in the field during 2025, Emmers, the new man on the block, making his first ever start, and JP Sears, who did not start as the starting midfielder, as that backward 6. Now, they have to gel, and feels like we've sort of stepped back a few weeks in terms of we're just figuring it out. We're making the chemistry come to life, and now it's a completely new midfield 3 pairing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things relying on that is how strong this team has been off the field, which they like to talk about often in media, and it's shared very well on their social media pages. But yeah, regardless, and we've also seen Phoenix a lot of times, it's a different starting lineup essentially every week this season, and this game again is no different. So it's kind of just trusting on what you've built in training and hope and knowing, honestly, these players trust the process and they trust Pa and the coaching staff that it will gel together and that chemistry will come naturally.
Well, trusting the process accumulates in a 90-minute match tonight that could end in a penalty shootout, regardless of the fact that it'll still go on the score sheet as a draw. Lots of action between Texoma and Phoenix Rising coming up. We'll have a little bit more on the Rising Radio pregame warm-up show, some keys to the game, some players to highlight. Sammy O'Brien, Kevin Cardez back in just a moment with the final stanza of the pregame warm-up show here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Red smoke! Phoenix Rising, our home! Welcome to 38th and Washington!
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Coming up Monday on The Lunch Break, how did the Diamondbacks fare in their 3-game set against the Cincinnati Reds? Did they keep the good times rolling, or was it 1 step forward and 2 steps back? Plus, they've got the GM. They've got the coach. The summer of Durant is in full swing. What is the latest on the Suns and their plans with KD? All of it, Monday's edition of The Lunch Break, 11 to 1, right here on KDUS AM 1060.
You're listening to the pregame warm-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Phoenix Rising and Texoma FC in the third fixture for Phoenix in the 2025 Jägermeister Cup hosted by the USL between USL Championship and their League One. Sammy O'Brien, Kevin Cortez, all here all night long on the Rising Radio Network for a hopefully exciting game. No Solomon Asante as far as we have been told. All of the lineups and everything online says no Solo, so Solo week ends with no Solomon Asante touching the pitch. Hopefully we'll see him a little bit tonight pitch side, but as far as Solomon Asante goes, Sammy, he won't be in Sherman, at least on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely not. And again, maybe we could be receiving wrong information, who knows, but regardless, maybe he's kind of just there as a crown piece saying hi, reuniting with old friends. But regardless, that is a big loss on the pitch for Texoma. He scored the game winner in 90+6 last week against Charlotte Independence, which was a huge win to keep Texoma winning and unbeaten, as they have really turned their season around after a rough start to their club's history.
Solo this year for Texoma FC, just to touch on one last time before we get going, 11 appearances, 10 starts, 4 goals, 1 assist, just 2 yellow cards. He made 114 appearances for Phoenix Rising over the course of 4 years, scored 54 goals, had 40 assists. He bagged 94 total goal and assist contributions. He was the first ever player in USL history to record 50 goals and 50 assists on his own. He notched those 50 final assists in Indy with Indy 11 the following 2 years, and he's the only ever back-to-back MVP winner in USL Championship history between 2019 and 2020. He brought a pair of Western Conference titles back to the city in Phoenix. We were hoping that he would play his legendary club for one of the more regular fixtures that we've gotten used to, as he's gone out and played with Indy 11, and he's gone out and he's played with Las Vegas Lights over last year. We were hoping that we'd see him one more time, but instead it looks like we won't. So we'll get into a few players to highlight. First off, Sammy O'Brien. And for Phoenix tonight, you have Carl-Fred Saint.
Yeah, it's going to be Carl-Fred Saint coming back from international duty with Haiti in the Gold Cup. Really did not get on the field at all for Haiti, so it'll be good to see him back and they're able to throw him out, because, you know, that means he is probably fit and ready to wear that captain's armband tonight and really hold down that back line, especially in the middle with the youngster Braxton Montgomery, who's been also fairly great for Phoenix, and also a potential professional contract on the way as well.
And what do you make of his transition from deep line midfielder to full-on center back? He's worn the captain's armband as a center back, and that's not where he started this year with Phoenix?
No, it's not, but Phoenix really didn't have a choice. The injury bug got so bad, even at one point where Darnell King, they had to sign him to a 25-day contract, came on the field in that horrible, forgettable game against Monterey. But nonetheless, Carl-Fred Saint, when Phoenix has had him on the pitch, he's been great and really been a key piece of the squad.
Key pieces of the squad, and then we'll flip to one of the more important ones for Texoma tonight, and at one point one of the important pieces of the squad for Phoenix Rising in his own right. Lamin Jane played for Phoenix Rising 2 years ago. He had his option declined going into the 2023 title-winning season. He signed a 25-day contract at the tail end of 2022. They thought he was good enough to convert to a full-time contract before he went out and played professional football elsewhere after that year. And now he finds himself in Sherman, Texas with Texoma FC. Sammy, he's your player tonight for Texoma.
Yes, he is. He is a big playmaker for this team. He assisted on Solomon Asante's 90+6 game winner just a week ago. So they know, Texoma knows what they have in a player. He has experience at MLS Next Pro, also as well overseas in Greece. He only had 7 appearances for Phoenix, so really maybe just not the fit, and hopefully he can find his fit with Texoma this season.
He comes from Banjul in the Gambia, and tonight, couple keys to the game, Sammy O'Brien. For Phoenix, likely something that they've struggled with. They got battered last week in Charleston, 4-1. I'd say that they probably have to score early and likely score often to get out of this one with 3 points.
Yeah, definitely. It's scoring early and often. And often is really the key that I want to emphasize on, especially on with the loss already to San Antonio. I believe they're the group leaders. You're probably not going to win the group. So where are you going to get with the tiebreakers and the 2 wild card spots that are going to be so difficult to get? So it's really using that and the goals scored with just banking on that help you with the tiebreakers, because again, the win and the goals can only get so far. You're also going to need a lot of help with several teams losing.
And for Texoma, we were originally going to talk about Solo and how the key to the game was letting the superstar and one of the greatest American soccer players to ever play stateside, let him lead you to victory. Well, he won't play tonight. So instead, taking his position, at least we think at striker, is Brandon McManus. Is he the key tonight for Texoma and perhaps getting a result out of Phoenix Rising?
Yeah, he had a big role. he knows what it is, to have a big role in college with Louisville Cardinals. He had a big role. He scored 8 goals and 6 assists in his last season there. He scored a crucial goal in the tournament game against Dayton. So he, according to their coach, Adrian Forbes, he is an exceptional young talent, and he has a great ability, and they believe he's going to be a huge asset for them, and nonetheless, they trust him to get the job done.
Well, whoever wins tonight will have to be that extraordinary. Hopefully we have an extraordinary game coming up. 90 minutes of fun. Texoma and Phoenix Rising right after one more short break. This has been the Rising Radio pregame warm-up show on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network with Sammy O'Brien and myself, Kevin Cardez. Back in just a moment for the action and the game.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Coming up Monday on the lunch break, how did the Diamondbacks fare in their 3-game set against the Cincinnati Reds? Did they keep the good times rolling, or was it 1 step forward and 2 steps back? Plus, they've got the GM. They've got the coach. The summer of Durant is in full swing. What is the latest on the Suns and their plans with KD? All of it, Monday's edition of the lunch break, 11 to 1, right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. The lunch break.
The tough conversation that this team, I still think, has to have is what are they going to do with the front office? James Jones's contract is up at the end of June. I don't think we can live in a world where we just let that contract expire and then make a change. And I sit here today to tell you that while I agree with the decision that was made by the Phoenix Suns, it cannot stop there.
The lunch break, heard from 11 to 1 here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS AM 1060 app.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I'm just texting him back. I'm just posting a story. I'm just changing the song. I'm just...
No. When it comes to distracted driving, just don't. Sending a text takes your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds, but in that time, your car can travel the length of an entire football field. Any distracted driving just isn't worth it.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Let's get into the action. Phoenix Rising Soccer, live now on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
"90 minutes of Texoma FC and Phoenix Rising as Phoenix Rising hits the road to go to Sherman, Texas, and they literally hit the road. They flew into Dallas just a few hours ago and drove the 2.5 hours up from Dallas to Sherman to play in the historic Bearcat Stadium here in Sherman, Texas, as Sherman is ready for Texoma to begin. They'll be wearing those all-black kits moving right to left tonight for the first 45 as Phoenix wears the red tops with the white shorts. Immediately ball played up and over the top, one in the air by Colin Smith, brought down quickly by Charlie Dennis, who boots a ball off the shin of a Texoma player all the way down to the wing as Colin Smith is shoved to ground, and a foul is quickly ruled in favor of Phoenix in the first minute, and they'll immediately win the ball back.
It'll be interesting to see how Phoenix approaches the start of this game, especially with this really new-look lineup. It's kind of all over the place in a sense, but nonetheless, we'll see guys like Zion Emmers, like we talked about in the pregame, really get his first solid action as a member of the Rising.
It'll be Tristan Henry tonight between the pipes for Phoenix Rising as he gets his first start in a long time after losing the starting job to Patrick Rakowski about 6 or 7 weeks ago. He had an opportunity and lost it to Rakowski, and Rakowski has been nails ever since, but in the cup competition, it'll be Tristan who takes over. Ball quickly played over to Colin Smith and played back for the run of Zion Emmers, and Charlie Dennis plays a little 1-2 step with Emmers, a backheel pass for Charlie Dennis, who does well to hold up the run of play and breaks the half line with more one-touch football from Zion Emmers. Another breaking ball as they get into the final third. Goalpost awaiting. Derek Formello won't make a run. Emmers charging again into the final third as Charlie Dennis continues to link up. Left-footed ball, trying to stop it. Finds Emmers in the right side channel, drags a ball into the top of the box. Now it finds another one, shot right into the chest. Into the chest there of the also unexpected goalkeeper Aaron Seeger getting his first appearance of the year for Texoma FC. First in club history as well for them. Charlie Dennis was the one taking the shot immediately to the chest of Seeger here in the second minute. Still 0-0.
Great immediate pressure from Phoenix and great 1-2 work, great footwork from Zion Emmers there. Phoenix knocking on the door early already with a shot on target.
Already a quick shot on target. Carl Fred Saint, the captain tonight and the center back as well, makes his return from international duty with Haiti as they play back and forth between Carl and Braxton Montgomery, still on an academy contract here late into June on this June 28th matchup between Texoma FC and Phoenix Rising in Sherman, Texas on the road for Phoenix. Third ever fixture in the Jägermeister Cup. Shoved to ground on the far side. Here comes Texoma on the break. Lamin Jane trying to break the final third. Immediately thrown off the ball by Carl Fred Saint, and a foul ruled in favor of Texoma. Saint gives up a dangerous free kick here in the final third as Texoma has a chance to perhaps attack in the third minute.
A lot of physicality so far. Jamison Ping got roughed up pretty good there and turning the ball over, and then Carl Fred Saint kind of just came out there and just stopped John Way completely for the foul and free kick for Texoma.
It'll be Johnny to take the free kick here. Center referee waiting to spray down the paint so we can see exactly where this one will be taken from. Paint goes down, slowly rolled over. It's William Perkins and Lamin Johnny, the close men. Head official tonight, Corbin May. It's his 57th match as a professional center referee. He's done 28 in Next Pro, 22 for the championship, and 7 in League One, so 29 across these two comps. Ball placed in the right half space about 32 or 33 yards away from the mouth of the net. Placed almost parallel with the box, I'd say about 5 yards up and above it. It'll be a dangerous one for Texoma here in the 4th minute. Johnny makes a run. Here comes Perkins. Perkins serves into the box. It goes off the backside there quickly of Derek Formella. Played up and over the top, and only for the run of everybody in the all-black Texoma kit. As Texoma settles possession, and Formella goes out on the chase here in the 4th minute. Still 0-0. On the chase goes Jamison Ping, the academy kid turned pro. He signed his professional deal, became the second ever academy kid in Phoenix Rising history to sign a professional contract with the club. Ball booted away there by Charlie Dennis. He got a toe to it as it goes out of bounds, and a throw-in on the way for Phoenix. Colin Smith waits ready for that one here in the 5th.
There's been a lot of communication so far between Seeger and his backline, especially right there. He didn't like what he was seeing.
Not exactly liking what he was seeing. Charlie Dennis plays, Zion Emmers plays a one-time ball up and over the top. Colin Smith trying to find it. Can he serve it to the center of the box? It's booted away. Here comes a dangerous throw in here on the near side touch. Deep in the attacking third here for Phoenix. Texoma on their back heels a little bit. Quickly conceded. Colin Smith throws it in for Charlie Dennis. Dennis plays down. Emmers takes it off his right foot, darting into the top of the box. Can he make some magic happen? Finding the final few feet. Almost taken to ground, but the ball goes up and over the goal line. Everybody trying to sort out if it's a corner kick, and it looked like it'll be ruled in favor of Phoenix. Here comes a goal kick, and Charlie Dennis walks over to the right-hand side corner flag to take with a right arm to the sky here in the 5th minute, turning into the 6th. Still 0-0, Texoma and Phoenix Rising in the 3rd ever fixture for Phoenix in the Jägermeister Cup. Ball served into the back post, punched away by Seeger. Only as far as Jamison Ping, but a foul ruled inside the box, and a handball perhaps as well off of somebody who got in the way. Seeger with a all-black headband almost fell off as he jumped into the air. That was a very, very high flying ball. 6'4" at just 24 years old is Aaron Seeger, making his first ever appearance for Texoma, and it was a good first punch, and an initial save goes on the sheet there for Seeger and crew. Far side touchline, Quayshaw wins the ball back, played down for Darius Johnson, and they'll play it all the way back into their own half as they reset possession with Carl Fred Saint and Braxton Montgomery.
Phoenix keeping their foot on the gas early. Zion Emmers once again looking very good and very comfortable out there. Almost set up that good chance for Colin Smith, almost identical to the assist he had on the Hope Avievo goal last week in Charleston.
Henry starting possession out through the back now. Plays it out for Montgomery, who plays it to the left. Metronomically out for Carl Fred Saint, who receives the ball back from Quayshaw again here in the 7th minute. Still 0-0. Right on top of his box, bright orange boots and the all-green goalkeeper kit is Tristan Henry trying to find the open men. Can he break a line? He finds Carl Fred Saint. St. left side half space finds down the left side touchline Amy Quayshow. Quayshow chips one up and over the top for the run of Darius Johnson. Can Johnson get to it? It's just simply booted back for Seeger, who sends a long cleared ball only as far as JP Skiers. Skiers trying to get free in the center of the park, almost dragged to ground, and he finally does. No foul ruled. Play on, says the center referee. Here comes a through ball through the back. All the way through is number 7. It's McManus. Tristan Henry concedes. Brandon McManus in the 7th minute, and Texoma go up 1-0 on the finale of Solo Week. No Solomon Asante, no problem. Texoma in the lead 1-0 off of a left-footed strike from Brandon McManus, and Phoenix are stunned.
Texoma doing everything right there, taking advantage of their opportunities, coming with a very, very strong counterattack. Caught Phoenix completely off guard, and Brandon McManus puts it in and really just stuns Phoenix, and their bench cannot believe it right now.
It's McManus' just second goal all year long. We talked about it in the pregame show, Sammy. Is the key to the game tonight Brandon McManus? In the absence of your superstar striker, still at 35 years old, still producing, no Solomon Asante, is it McManus' turn to step up? And he does. The 6'2", 24-year-old from Louisville played over 2,000 minutes for his alma mater. He scored a crucial goal against Dayton in the NCAA tournament. They describe him as a high-pressure, high-intensity player, but one who rises to the moment. And he does against Phoenix Rising, and now Texoma is up 1-0 here in the 9th minute. Immediately on their back heels as Braxton Montgomery drifts back in possession, and Phoenix gets the restart. Carl Fred St. a touch off of his left boot, playing down the far side touchline for Emi Quayshow, who chips another ball up and over the top for the run of Darius Johnson. Can he get there in time? He leaves, and he does. Darius Johnson trying to find the box. He makes one, he shakes two, and the ball goes up and out of bounds. Here comes a corner on the way for Phoenix Rising and crew.
Phoenix knows what's at stake, so they're going to take advantage of opportunities like this, responding right away and setting themselves up in a good position with a set piece on a corner kick. Excuse me, never mind, it's a throw-in.
Throw-in deep in the attacking third. Far side touchline for Emi Quayshow. One ball back from Darius Johnson. Back for JP, who plays again. Served up and into the center of the box, headed away by Texoma, only as far as the boots of Zian Emmers. Emmers back for Smith. Smith finds Dennis. One touch ball down for Emmers again. Dennis back and forth between the two in the right-hand half space. Dennis all the way back for his center backs. Montgomery plays from right to left over for Carl Fred St. here in the 10th. Still 1-0 Texoma. St. back for Montgomery. Breaking the center circle. Finding a long breaking ball for Colin Smith. Can he find Charlie Dennis down the right-hand channel? He can't. Emmers rolls a solo over the back of the ball and beats one. Can't quite beat two. We'll see who won that one. It's a throw-in for Phoenix in the attacking third, taken quickly by Colin Smith. Finds the chest of Charlie Dennis. Dennis chips to the back post, open over everybody. Still 1-0 Texoma here in the 10th. Phoenix can't quite find any connection in the final third. That header earlier on, booted away. I believe it was Stashvitsky. A very, very well-timed header in the box. JP Skiers wins an aerial duel, headed down again by Stashvitsky. And now a foul ruled in favor of what looks like Phoenix. Quayshow will be the near man to take. Center referee lets play go on. Carl Fred St. plays quickly to the middle for Emmers. Emmers trying to make something happen, shuttling the ball from left to right for Montgomery. Montgomery finds the run of Smith. It's clipped early, but he finds it. John A. can't quite get to it. Smith dancing. Can he get to the box? Colin Smith, a little bit of magical left-footed strike, and it goes far left. Did it clip anybody? Center referee says no, it didn't, and Seeger will quickly restart with a goal kick for Texoma in the 11th minute. It's still 1-0.
Another decent opportunity for Phoenix. Colin Smith kind of was dancing there. Had a couple good touches and then one slight mistouch. The ball just got out a bit in front of him, just the slightest, and that ball kind of went haywire.
Haywire is a good word. I like that. I'd say it's a $2 word.
I'll say 3.
Okay, yeah, $2 word. $2 word for Sammy O'Brien. Texoma wins the ball on the far side touchline. Chipped up and over the top again. Can they avoid disaster? JP Skiers heads one down. Carl Fred St., the one to clean it up, finds Quayshow down the far side touchline. Now they break the half line, trying to make a little something happen. 12th minute, still 1-0. Texoma firmly in control here in the first 12. Darius Johnson rolls a right foot over the ball and plays all the way back for Carl Fred St. St. slicing towards the middle, finds a ball for Zian Emmers, who's dropped far, far back. Emmers breaking the half line, finds a ball down for Colin Smith. He's been active. Smith finds Dennis down the channel, quickly stuffed out there by Stashvsky, and he's pushed to ground. Foul ruled in favor of Phoenix. Deep in the attacking third, Stashvsky is absolutely incensed, but he knows. He knows that was a foul. Here in the 12th minute, free kick on the way for Phoenix. In a dangerous area, Sammy O'Brien.
Yeah, Phoenix showing no panic so far, identifying where they want to be on the right side of the field with Emmers, Smith, and Dennis. And here they go again, probably their third or fourth opportunity from this side. If they keep the pressure on, the defense will eventually break.
It'll be Charlie Dennis to take here on the near side touchline. I'd say about 2 feet away from the paint. He's deep and he's parallel with the actual action box here in the 13th minute. 1-0 Texoma. Charlie Dennis trying to find somebody to make this one level, or maybe he'll do it himself. Left-footed ball on the way for the Englishman. Charlie Dennis with the right arm to the sky, raises it and serves, delivering an in-swinging ball to the center of the box. It's dancing, it's free. Can anybody put a boot to it? And it's cleared away. Carl-Fred St. couldn't find it, but Jamison Ping heads it down. Still one in the air there by Texoma, and a foul ruled in favor. Phoenix missed their opportunity. It's still 1-0 Texoma in the 13th.
So close again for Phoenix. It felt like that ball was literally just bouncing and bouncing in the 6-yard box. No one could really get a boot to it, and it doesn't go Phoenix's way. And Texoma's defense holds strong once more on another strong look from Rising.
So close, but so far no goal. Long ball over the top. Can Quaisho be the one to shield off? And he does. Very, very timely and tidy defending on the far side touchline for Quaisho. Turns into a throw-in for Phoenix deep in their own defensive third. It was Donald Benamna who couldn't quite get to the ball, darting down that far side touchline. The 28-year-old from Bangui, Central African Republic. He went over and he played in Morocco for about a month, and then he came back stateside. He's played for a lot of USL League One and USL League Two clubs, but notably he played for the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, who no longer exist anymore. That's where guys like Arthur Rogers came from. He was the one who scored the leveler for FC Tulsa a few weeks ago. Noko turned out some true stars, and now one of them finds his way all the way over to Texoma FC in Sherman, Texas, in front of a crowd in the historic Bearcat Stadium. Colin Smith off the restart, plays on the near side touchline for Charlie Dennis, trying to find a long slicing ball up and over the top from the run of Darius Johnson. Can the flag stay down? It does. Johnson wins the ball. Can he break the final third? He does. Left side channel, parallel with the box, trying to serve one in. Taken down to ground. Johnson taken down, foul ruled in favor of what looks like Phoenix, but he's not quite inside the box. Johnson to ground about a foot or maybe even just 8 or 9 inches aside from the penalty area. Another attacking set piece. Another dangerous free kick for Phoenix in the 15th. 1-0 Texoma. Phoenix have done everything when it comes to knocking on the door. Can they finally break it down? Darius Johnson, the near man, to the left of the ball. He'll track all the way back out. Charlie Dennis now the closest one. A shadow cast to the left in the 15th. 2 hands on his hips. Jamison Ping situated outside of the box. He'll be there to clean up anything that's cleared. It's a 3-man wall for Texoma. Left-footed ball on the way for Charlie Dennis, an in-swinger. He motions his group, right arm to the sky, serves one into the center of the box, headed up and over and away. Formella tracks the ball down. He keeps it in play. Can they find some magic? Jamison Ping, right-hand side. Backheel pass for Formella, drifting to the top, chipped up and over, trying to find Darius Johnson, headed down by Texoma. That's Benamna. Benamna only as far as Braxton Montgomery, headed along by JP Skiers up in front of the box for nobody. Stashvsky sends that one away, and a throw-in deep in the attacking third again for Phoenix Rising. Stashvsky thinks that was one worth conceding. Going for more of a short sleeve look there, Sammy.
Yeah, he is kind of showing that he's been lifting a little bit. Regardless, especially it's been really physical in that box tonight, so definitely paid off. Texoma still has not conceded off these strong looks from Phoenix. And also a thing to point out is Charlie Dennis taking all the free kicks, especially with no Hope Avievu on the pitch, so maybe that has a bit of an effect on Phoenix's attack.
Suns out, guns out for Patrick Stashvsky. Carl-Fred St. back in his own circle. A poorly played pass for Braxton Montgomery has to go back for Tristan Henry, who tracks back near his own semicircle in his defensive half. Braxton Montgomery, a dangerous but successful pass on the left-hand side for Jamison Ping, who starts to bust along and break it to that final third. Finds Quaisho. Quaisho Beating one, can he beat two? Finds the edge of the box, left-hand side, shifted to the center, booted away again by Stashvitsky. Stashvitsky only as far as Braxton Montgomery, a right foot to the center of the ball. Dragged across the half line. Emmers, one touch. Dennis, right-hand side. Colin Smith, free in the box, chipped over and batted away. Aaron Seeger with a dynamic save right in front of the mouth of the net. It's the 17th minute, and it's still 1-0 Texoma, but Phoenix has a corner.
What an action-packed 17 minutes, and what a save by Seeger. That shot was going to go perfect in the top corner by Colin Smith. And again, Phoenix going back to that right side of that trio of Smith, Emmers, and Dennis. And just once again, they're held off.
Everything but knocking the door down. Charlie Dennis serves a ball to the backhand post. Darius Johnson tries to swing at it and he misses with his foot, but he keeps it in play. Tracking down the left-hand half space, stuck in the channel. Trying to beat his own defender in Ben Namna. Ben Namna concedes out for Quayshaw. Quayshaw almost dragged to ground, and a foul ruled in favor of Texoma. 18th minute, still 1-0.
Maybe a bit of a frustration foul as Quayshaw kind of grabbed on as he was getting brought to the ground. As Phoenix again stonewalled. They've had no trouble breaking that final third, just cannot get one past.
They want to get 3 points, and they want to have a chance in this Jägermeister Cup in terms of advancing out of their group. They'll need to find at least 2. Right now, they're struggling to find 1. Everybody ushered forward for Texoma. 18th minute, as Seeger, the 6'4" goalkeeper making his first ever appearance for the club, ushers everybody forward. He's adorned in that bright yellow head-to-toe kit for the goalkeeper. Up and over the top, long ball for nobody but Tristan Henry, who jumps acrobatically in the air to claim that one and quickly rolls out for Braxton Montgomery and crew. 19th minute, still 1-0. 82.8% of possession for Phoenix Rising here through 19 minutes. And yet, the lion's share of the goals scored sit with Texoma. Colin Smith, a dynamic move to beat one, trying to break away from Pepe. Pepe on the chase for Braxton Montgomery. Pepe's still on the press. On loan there from FC Dallas, brother of a very notable soccer player in terms of Ricardo. Conceded there. Here comes Texoma. Pepe, center of the box, trying to find it, but Braxton Montgomery is there. John A tries to make a run for the ball, but Colin Smith cleans it up. Almost a turnover turned into a second goal. Montgomery plays a one-time ball through for Emmers, and now Phoenix has a chance to break. Emmers up and over for the run of Darius Johnson, chested down there by Stashvitsky, but Darius Formella wins it back in the final third. Moved out to the left for Darius Johnson. No handball called, and Texoma wants it. 19th minute, left-hand side, breaking the channel, now breaking the box. Darius Johnson chipped up and over for nobody. Can Charlie Dennis track it down in time? He can. He'll keep it in play. Nobody there to beat but Perkins. Dennis play taken to ground in the center of the box, and a point to the goalkeeper. Is there a penalty on the way for Phoenix Rising?
That one looked ultra close, Kevin. Colin Smith had the run. He kind of was taken down from behind. Bit of confusion right now.
And it looks like there may be a penalty on the way. It's hard to tell. And I believe a penalty has been awarded for Phoenix Rising. It looks like Lamin Jane, the former Phoenix Rising man, has conceded a penalty here in the 20th minute for Phoenix to potentially go level with Texoma here in just their third fixture in the Jägermeister Cup. Center referee marching all the way back over here. It'll be Charlie Dennis to take this penalty. It was awarded for Phoenix. Standing to the right of the ball is number 12. The Englishman has a chance to level here in the 21st minute. Charlie Dennis, no shadow cast. He stands in the shadow here at the historic Bearcat Stadium in Sherman, Texas. A chance to level. Dennis, a shot on the way, smashes it home. Charlie Dennis converts from the spot, and we're level in Sherman. It's 1-1. Phoenix Rising equalizes. Beautiful penalty, taking top bins in the right corner by the Englishman Charlie Dennis, and it's all equal here in the Jägermeister Cup.
And props to Colin Smith for drawing this penalty. Colin Smith really been feels like kind of having his way in a sense with this back line, working his way, breaking into that final third. Had multiple great opportunities, multiple crosses as well, just couldn't convert, and finally on that one, gets a step or two on John Way, and John Way kind of pushes him down in the back, and it leads to an easy penalty for Charlie Dennis, and we're all level in Sherman.
It was beautifully taken as the ball bounces up and over the top for Tristan Henry. Beautifully taken by Charlie Dennis. It doesn't get any better. Seeger guessed correctly. He went the right way, dove to his left, but it wasn't enough because the ball was smashed ferociously in top bins. It was that top right corner. Nothing you can do about that one. 22nd minute, it's all level, 1-1 in Sherman, Texas, in front of a home crowd here for the finale of Solo Week, celebrating Solomon Asante, one of the greatest ever players for Phoenix Rising. Charlie Dennis plays a ball down with his left foot over the top, breaking the final third. Phoenix on the counter and the break. Jamison Ping chest down a ball from Charlie Dennis, and now he finds Formella taking the ground in the box again. Play on is ruled by the center referee. Jamison Ping goes down to ground again. It's still loose in the box. John A. finally gets it clear. JP Skiers trying to win it back again. Texoma just puts a boot to it. 22nd minute, and now they have a win. Pepe trying to chase it down. One ball back from Braxton Montgomery and settled it centered all the way through for Emmers. Can they get restarted on the counter? Colin Smith decides to center it back up. Smith back for Emmers, back for JP, and now they'll play a little 1-2. Still 1-1, 23rd minute. All equal in the Jägermeister Cup. They conceded initially. Darius Johnson beats one. A little hesitation step breaks the rhythm and momentum of one. Sent off the back heel of a Texoman defender. Here on the 23rd, now on the run. Can they find Pepe? Still trying to break forward. Here comes Perkins, final third, drifting, top of the box. All Perkins all night long, snuffed out there by Braxton. So strong down that channel, and Braxton stands tall. Charlie Dennis maneuvering. Here comes that mid-block, Sammy, for Texoma, and now they're going to try to create pressure on their own terms to try to get out of this one.
Yeah, they have to. Phoenix knows what is at stake. Phoenix has not stopped putting on the pressure, even since that goal, trying to hold on to a bit of that momentum. They lost a bit of it, on that counterattack, and here they come again.
Here they come again. Darius Johnson chips one up and over for Zian Emmers. Emmers trying to take it on his own. He finds Charlie Dennis situated top right corner of the box. Can he find the penalty area now? Dennis clipped, back corner, headed in! Darius Johnson! What an acrobatic finish! It was beautifully served off the right foot from Charlie Dennis, and Darius Johnson sends Phoenix Rising up and above Texoma. It's 2-1 on the road.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Phoenix knew the assignment. They know what they have to do, and it was executed perfectly. Charlie Dennis took his time, sends one up. It couldn't have been more perfect for Darius Johnson as Phoenix comes out on top. Stonewall, no emotion from Darius Johnson scoring. Phoenix still knows they have a lot of work to do, and we still have a lot of game to play, Kevin.
So much game to play here. But suddenly in the 24th minute, Charlie Dennis links up with Darius Johnson, and now Charlie has not just a goal but an assist. He converted that penalty just 3 minutes ago and now assists off of a beautifully headed ball from Darius Johnson. It was the right foot from the normally left-footed serving Charlie Dennis. Ball up and over the top, trying to find the run of Pepe again, and it looks like Tristan Henry might have been out of the box, but the center referee says all good. The linesmen say he was still in. Beautiful claim there on the edge of the box from Tristan Henry, as now JP Skiers finds the run of Zian Emmers, still knocking. Can he find the cross there for anybody in the area? Darius Johnson trying to track it down before it goes out of bounds. He'll get there. Back heels the ball back in. Jamison Ping, the near man, stuck in that left-hand channel, still in the final third. Emi Quayshow moves it back for Skiers. A heavy touch, but he finds Jamo. Jamo only finds the chest of Texoma. It's Benamna. Jamison Ping almost dragged to ground, but instead the foul ruled in favor of Texoma in the 25th, and off a quick restart. Still 2-1 Phoenix. Texoma will quickly pick up the ball and roll it out. And now they're on the chase here in the Jägermeister Cup.
Going back to that play by Tristan Henry, it was oh so close. He caught the ball and double clutched like he was going up for a contested layup. He was able to get it out, and we'll see what Texoma does. Phoenix coming up on the press.
Here comes another run from Jamison Ping. Can he find that final third? Formella only sends it behind the net. Almost booted away there, but it looks like offsides thrown up from the near side official. It was a quick run from Jamo, who had the inside direct channel all the way through to the mouth of the goal. He found Formella, who just ran out of space and time in the 26th. Still 2-1 Phoenix.
Phoenix has Texoma on their heels. They are huffing and puffing right now, trying to slow down the pace and the momentum of this game. Possession staying the same, free run there. And Pa Motoka knowing what his guys can do.
McManus gets free in the final third. Here comes Pepe. Can he put it in? Texoma finds a second. A mistake on the back line. A ball that was sent awry by Tristan Henry, and immediately Texoma punches back. Diego Pepe managed to do enough to let the ball trickle over the goal line. It's level in Sherman. So much going on, Sammy O'Brien.
Yeah, just an absolute blunder from Phoenix, a big mistake. Tristan Henry probably came up a little bit too early, and next thing you know, that ball is behind him, and all Diego Pepe has to do is put a toe to it, and we're level. And it has been a chaotic 25 minutes.
It was a ball up and over the top that was lost in the air. Braxton Montgomery tried to win it back. Carl Fred Saint gave a run to the back, but it was Brandon McManus who drifted over the center of the box, managed to control the ball, sent it on target. Tristan Henry parries it away, but only as far as the waiting run of Diego Pepe, who did just enough to shield Carl Fred Saint from booting it off the goal line, and now it's level. It's 2-2 in the 28th. So many emotions going back and forth here, and you noted when DJ scored that header, Sammy, that it was emotionless. It was one of those ones where, hey, we got to keep going. Well, that's why. Formella plays a long ball up and over the top, sending it out of bounds. Maybe trying to send a message here in the 28th.
That looked like that was off the kickoff as well.
It was. Frustration as Aaron Seeger slowly tracks us one over to the top of the penalty area, just letting his soul roll over the ball. No real urgency here for Texoma now as they sit level again here in the 28th. Trying to break that half-hour mark with a lead or at least drawing. Another ball up and over the top for McManus, heading along for Pepe. Diego can't quite get there. Montgomery puts a right boot to it, but it's out quickly for another corner. And Phoenix Rising are on their back heels. Tristan Henry is screaming at Carl Saint. Not the start Phoenix wanted here in their third fixture in Group 2 of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Throw in deep in the attacking third, near side for Texoma. Up and over the head there for John A. John A finds it all the way back, still stuck on that near side touchline, trying to shake Emmers free. Now it's with Perkins. Perkins breaking the box, breaking the final third, trying to find anybody in the area. Colin Smith and Braxton Montgomery come together to snuff it out. John A pressuring Emmers. Dennis can't quite put a boot to it, and it's played all the way back through to the center for Stashvisky and crew. Captain tonight, Sergio Chavez, finally getting a boot to the ball. Chavez plays out for Stashvisky, playing near side for John A and crew. John A plays back for Perkins and is now pushed to the ground. Fila Dilamini draws the foul, not quite in the attacking third yet, but in the 29th minute, another free kick and a dangerous set piece on the way from Texoma as we break the 30th and the half-hour mark.
This is really the first set possession we are going to get to see Texoma have, Kevin. Expected goals tonight, again, kind of a flawed stat, but really doesn't feel like that tonight. Phoenix 0.99 to Texoma's just 0.14, and we are level right now. The Jägermeister Cup really living up to its standards.
William Perkins, the near man, to the left of the ball. It's Lamin Jane to the right of it. A left arm to the sky for Perkins. Perkins serving it to the back corner. Emmers heads it up and away for Pepe. Pepe stuck in the left side of the box. Lets it roll up and over the goal line, and here comes a corner kick now for Texoma and crew. Jane takes the long jog up and over to that near side corner flag here in Bearcat Stadium. Places the ball on the near side of the corner. 30th minute. Jane will walk this one away. Instead, it'll be William Perkins to take. William Perkins, the 25-year-old from Detroit, Michigan, played in MLS Next Pro for Huntsville City FC, but he's a Michigan State University alumni. Had 40 appearances in college. Then he went to Union Omaha after that and got loaned out to Huntsville, and here he is in Texoma. Left arm to the sky, booted to the back post. Header put to it there by John A, who watches it trickle over the goal line. Finally a goal kick for Phoenix here in the 31st minute. Still level at 2-2. Hydration break on the way now between these two clubs. It's hot in Sherman. It's about 93 degrees and sunny, which means nothing out of the ordinary for either of these clubs who routinely train and play in the heat. But we've talked about this a little bit in media, Sammy, how it can be a bit of a home field advantage for the teams that come in and don't play in the heat routinely.
Yeah, definitely. Phoenix, says they stay out there and they train into the midday, early afternoon. Pa Motoka saying that has not been a factor of them potentially changing it, as we've seen managers in the past for Phoenix moving up training times when those summer months come around. But nothing of that so far for Phoenix, knowing it builds them and it makes them that much of a stronger team.
Now, just waiting for the hydration break to wrap up. he was so noting Solomon Asante's greatness with Phoenix Rising. 49 goals in 103 appearances. He won the 2019 USL Championship Golden Boot. He also won the MVP that year and would win it in 2020 as well. He was the vice captain under Drogba his first year and then became the captain the next 3 years after that. He took over the armband before. It was stated like this: the decision to let Solomon Asante, from the manager at the time, Rick Schant, said, can't really comment too much on that. At the end of the day, if we had the highest budget in the USL like everyone thinks, it would just be easy to sign these guys all the time, but we can't do that. We can't disrespect a club legend. It's one of those controversial decisions that sent away one of the greatest to ever wear the shirt, stateside or abroad. And then they ended up winning the title in 2023 without their star man, their two-time MVP, left just a season and a half before they were able to embark on finally climbing to the top of the mountaintop. But he brought 2 Western Conference titles to the city of Phoenix in his time with Phoenix Rising and stands as one of the most influential players to ever play the game. Texoma honoring him this week with Solo Week. And although he won't play tonight, his impact is felt for both clubs. They harken on how he's such a leader and one of the best personalities you can fill a clubhouse with. Long ball up and over the top, out of bounds from Tristan Henry, trying to find Dennis on the far side touchline. Flag goes up, and immediately it's a throw-in on the near side for Texoma. 2 hands to the ball, overhanded, only for the chest of Pepe, who tries to put a boot to it but loses it. Now a throw-in on the near side for Colin Smith and Phoenix Rising. 33rd minute, still 2-2. It's level in the Jägermeister Cup. JP Steers tracks the ball out, trying to find a breaking ball for Darius Johnson, and a beautiful tackle on the far side from Texoma. Here comes John A. and crew. Darius trying to get back. Jamison Ping tracking all the way through. Dilamini letting it roll. Back for Stashvisky. Left side. Charlie Dennis on the press. All the way back for Seeger. Seeger out of his net. Still back for Stashvisky. Dilamini. Near side touchline. Emmers literally draped on his back. Finally a foul ruled in favor of Texoma. Emmers was hugging him from behind. 34th minute, still 2-2.
The hydration break kind of really slowed things down, reset the momentum, but Phoenix still keeping up on that press. Probably you definitely need one more, have the lead going into the break for Rising.
Someone will try to find the lead whenever it's allowed. Expect a goal battle right now, .99 for Phoenix to the .49 now of Texoma. It was reworked. 34th minute, long ball over the top from Seeger. Somebody needs to win the header. Quaisho does. Taken out of the sky, Charlie Dennis, a left foot to the ball, beats not one but 2. Perkins can't quite jar the ball free. Dennis now deep in his own half, playing as basically a 6. JP plays back for Dennis. Dennis now pushing forward, breaking the middle third. Chipped ball up and over the top for Jamison Pink. Can he finally break the run? No, he can't. Couldn't quite get there. Valentine snuffs it away, but it's a throw-in far side for Phoenix Rising. Phoenix plays it back for Braxton. A long throw that turns to the foot of Carl Fred Saint. 35th minute, still 2-2. Saint, left-footed ball through the middle. Finds Ping, but it's all the way back for him again. Saint back for Montgomery, left to right. Montgomery, near side touchline for Colin Smith. Smith in for Emmers, still stuck on that near side touchline. Nobody can get free, but Emmers uses a bit of skill and almost gets through. Still not through. Benamna, finally somebody taking a ground, and Colin Smith commits the foul. 35th minute, still 2-2. Texoma all over the place.
Yeah, they've really kind of identified that trio that Phoenix has been going to all evening long and really shutting it down. And now it looks like we have an injured player for Texoma.
It'll be Dilamini who goes down now, trying to, looks like, work out a hamstring sort of tug. Their number 15, Dilamini, comes from South Africa, 5'8", and 26 years old. Makes his way all the way over to Texoma FC in their inaugural season as a club. Headed ball up and over for Tristan Henry, just slowly over into his mitts. All green goalkeeper kit and orange boots tonight for Tristan Henry. Played back for Saint. Saint wearing the captain's armband tonight, plays back for Montgomery. Left to right, right to left, back and forth, but not up and down. Phoenix were knocking so often, haven't had a chance since they scored that second goal. That beautiful header from Darius Johnson. Long splitting ball up and through for absolutely nobody. Throw in far side touchline for Texoma.
Phoenix kind of out of their element right now, and props to Texoma's defense for really kind of identifying where Phoenix had been succeeding so much and shutting it down, and Phoenix kind of scratching their heads right now trying to regain their footing in this game.
Phoenix hasn't been good when they get scored on first. It's something that they've tried to work on, and it hasn't been very good. Usually when they're scored on first, they're not getting results. Ball played down the near side touchline for Charlie Dennis, trying to find the run of Formella and Embers. Nobody quite gets free, and Dennis is taken to ground. A foul committed just on the edge of the final third here for Phoenix and crew. 37th minute, still 2-2. Donald Benamna, the man to take him down. Benamna wearing his Central African Republic armband across that right wrist. Charlie Dennis, 2 hands on his hips, I'd say about 45 yards away from the mouth of the goal, situated in the right-hand half space, 5 or 6 feet away from the end line. Right hand to the sky, 38th minute, still 2-2. Texoma and Phoenix Rising level in the first half of this third week of the Jägermeister Cup. 2 arms to the sky. Charlie Dennis plays short for Emmers. Emmers chips up and over for nobody. Booted away by Texoma. Only as far as Pepe and Braxton. Somebody has to win it out of the air. Braxton finally gets a boot to it, almost commits a foul, and then wins a stand-up tackle, which is ruled as a foul against Benamna, and now Texoma will restart in the center of the park. 38th minute, still 2-2.
Again, Phoenix really not being able to set anything up. That set piece right there on that free kick had been their best opportunity to find anything, really even break the final third since that equalizer from Pepe.
Chavez will restart play in their own semicircle of their defensive half. Chavez chipped ball down that right-hand half space. Finds Jane. Booted away by Quaisho, but off of him as well. Thrown on the far side, almost in the attacking third for Texoma. Laid off for Leland Gray. Leland Gray gives all the way back for Reed Valentine. Far side touchline. Valentine 2 hands on the ball. 39th minute, still 2-2 Texoma. And Phoenix Rising level in Sherman, Texas. Ball booted down by Quaisho. Only as far as Calfo and crew. Formella on the chase. Formella watching the ball track all the way back to Seeger's feet. Seeger finds a line-breaking ball through the middle, and now a slicing chop up and over the side. William Perkins gets to it. Only Colin Smith in the area to beat. William Perkins, left side of the penalty area. Colin Smith snuffs it out. What a defensive move there in the 39th from Colin Smith. And Perkins can't quite get free. Still 2-2, but a corner kick on the way here for Texoma.
An aggressive but very calm play by Colin Smith. He knew exactly what he was doing, and that's something, again, these two teams playing in different leagues. Obviously, Phoenix in the championship, Texoma in League One. So it's kind of the experience and the professionalism between these two sides showing.
Perkins with the left arm to the sky. 39th minute. Perkins serves to the center of the box. It's free, but it's headed away by Phoenix and crew. Only as far as Benamna. Benamna plays back out for Perkins, who just loses the ball. 40th minute, still level. Throw in on the near side touchline in their own defensive third for Phoenix. Phoenix so far has 71.8% of possession in this match. It's still level. That 28% for Texoma, just enough. They have 4 shots total. 2 of them are goals. Phoenix has 9, but one of their goals is off of a penalty awarded on a foul drawn by Colin Smith, converted by Charlie Dennis. He went in the top right corner to secure one of the more impressive penalty shots we've seen in a while. Ball won back by Texoma and Patrick Stashvitsky, but he loses it out of bounds. Another throw on the way for Phoenix near the midline. Still 2-2 in the 41st.
Texoma really kind of flipped the script since the 26 minutes, since that Pepe goal. Momentum really has not been too much of a factor, but being able to gain a little bit more of the possession and not really letting Phoenix get going the other way, as here they kind of come again towards that final third.
It was Perkins who won the ball in the final third, thrown up and over. Perkins finds a boot. Can they find it again? It's Pepe! Pepe puts a right foot to the ball, and off of a throw-in and a short pass in the 41st, Texoma goes up 3-2. Do you believe it? Diego Pepi and his day. It's 2. And the brace leads to a Texoma lead in the first half. It's 3-2 Texoma FC.
This first half has been absolutely mayhem, Kevin, and keeps adding to it. The Jägermeister Cup delivering with the chaos. Diego Pepi, the youngster, having himself a day on loan over from FC Dallas. Really just getting his moment, and Texoma has shown all the fight tonight.
It was McManus who assisted on that one. His second goal contribution of the night. He had the first goal, he has an assist on the third, and Pepi has a brace on loan from FC Dallas. Just 20 years old, the 5'9" forward. They have no Solomon Asante tonight, but it seems to be no issue against a USL Championship Phoenix Rising side. 43rd minute, quick restart from Formella and crew. JP Skiers plays out for Emmers, who finds the run of Colin Smith, breaking the half line. Smith down to Formella, slipping the ground. JP Skiers cleans it up. Skiers back for Quayshow, and 2 men down in the center of the park. Yellow card pulled out of the pocket. Yellow card ruled against Stashvisky. He's holding that left ankle, but the foul ruled in favor of Phoenix as Leland Gray walks over trying to get a quick explanation on why that foul is on Patrick Stashvisky, who's down in just as much pain as JP Skiers. JP now finally up. Patrick still on the ground, but foul ruled in favor there for Texoma, and the yellow card will finally go against Patrick Stashvisky in the 43rd minute. Still 3-2 Texoma.
Jamison Ping seemed in a bit of pain there too. Looked like a stinger kind of around his waist area on that right hip maybe. Hopefully he's okay as well. So that was just a cluster of bodies around midfield.
It looked like maybe an abdominal strain of sorts there for Jamison Ping. Sort of just started grabbing at his lower chest out of nowhere. We'll see what happens with that. 44th minute, still 3-2 Texoma. Far side touchline. Quayshow wins the ball back. Played for Tristan Henry. Takes it off his left knee. Henry plays back for Carl Fred Saint. Saint motioning everybody forward, trying to get something to break. Formella, center of the park. Can he break the half line? Far side touchline for Quayshow. A left-footed ball up and over the top, trying to find Darius Johnson. Finds no one but Texoma. Seeger cleans it up. 44th minute. Seeger letting that one dribble out. Jamison Ping on the chase. Seems to be all right, at least for now. We'll see what dynamos come off the bench here for Phoenix in the second half. You have monsters waiting like Hope Avayevu and Joel Margarita. It's just a question of when do you put them out there. 44th minute, ball booted up and over the top. Approaching the final minute of play, at least we think here in the first half. Not a whole lot of stoppage. Still 3-2 Texoma. Ball back for Henry. Henry back for Saint. Left half space. Sends back for Tristan again. Top of the penalty area. Back out for Braxton. Moves the ball back. Center back to center back. Halfway through the 45th. Formella. Back for Henry. Now Texoma's defensive shape thwarting any and all action from Phoenix Rising. Montgomery. Back for Saint. Back and forth they go, but not up and down. Quayshow darting towards the center of the park, trying to find a little bit of magic. Splits the run of play. Finds Braxton, slowly drifting out of that defensive third. Braxton, a ball up and over the top for Charlie Dennis. A beautiful touch that finally goes awry, and a throw in deep in the defensive third for Texoma here in the 45th. .45 of elapsed. We'll see what comes up on the board here. Still waiting for any word on the official. It's going to be 3 minutes of added time. We'll see if anybody can either extend a lead or equalize here. Phoenix needs a goal to get back in this one and get any points at all. Ball headed along by Carl Fred Saint. Almost losing it to McManus, but Braxton Montgomery's there. One ball for McManus. Pepe still in the area. JP Skiers, fancy footwork. Emmers almost dragged to ground. Foul ruled in favor of Emmers. It was Dilamini who committed the foul there in the attacking half for Texoma. Emmers, near side touchline. Ball down for Charlie Dennis. Dennis dragged to ground again by Dilamini. Another foul, back to back. Quickly for number 15.
Dilamini getting a bit of a talking to. That was kind of a cheap one there. Really just came from behind and just hugged Dennis, completely stopping him in his tracks. Phoenix really needs to find an equalizer here. They've looked like a completely different team these last 20 minutes of this first half.
Ball played down the channel for Emmers. A beautiful boot away there by Stashvitsky. What a move at the last moment. Trying to find the header for Mello was Charlie Dennis and Zian Emmers. But the 20-year-old Stashvitsky from Chicago, Illinois, he played for EFL League One's U18 side Cambridge United. Went through a few academies, played for Arsenal's academy in his youth, and now at 19 years old, Texoma thinks that they can develop him into a star. 47th minute, arm to the sky for Charlie Dennis. Near side corner flag, booted up to the back post. Finds Darius Johnson, booted back out for Jamison Ping on top of the penalty area. Ping to the right for Dennis. Dennis serving in. Can he find a head? Quaisho can't quite get there. Still knotted down by Colin Smith. Trying to find the run of Ben Namna and crew is Texoma. They win it back. Colin Smith boots somebody out of bounds, and a foul not quite ruled, but a throw-in on the near side for Texoma as the 47th turns into the 48th. Final minute of play coming in the first half. Texoma leads Phoenix Rising 3-2 at home, the historic Bearcat Stadium in Sherman, Texas. The finale of Solo Week with no Solomon Asante, but it seems like no issue so far. Still 3-2, Texoma in the lead. Free kick on the near side touchline. It'll be Chavez, the captain for Texoma, to take. Rolls the ball out. They'll try to find a little last minute magic here in the 48th. 30 seconds left to play. Everybody forward. Chavez boots it up and over into the box. Can anybody get there? Ball just rolls free. Goal kick ruled for Phoenix, likely the last action of the first half. Henry quickly jogs this one and rolls it out for Carl Fred Saint. Saint stops the ball, plays it back for Henry. Can they get something going? 10 seconds left. Henry jogging outside of his own area. Montgomery just waiting for the whistle. Montgomery evades the pressure of Pepe. Gives back for Saint. 48th minute has elapsed. We'll play into the 49th. Saint. Can they break the half? Quaisho darting back. Still no movement upwards. JP Skierce back for Quaisho. Far side touchline. Still playing. 48th minute turns into the 49th. They give it up. And finally, 2 whistles. And it's 3-2 at the half. Texoma of USL League One lead Phoenix Rising of the USL Championship in the 3rd fixture for Phoenix in the USL Jägermeister Cup on the road. Sammy, not the half that anybody expected. This is more of a final 90-minute scoreline, not a first 45.
Yeah, definitely not the half we expected, not the result we expected, and then some. Phoenix felt like they were coming hot out of the gates. A couple mistakes, a quick counter goal for Texoma. Phoenix answers with 2 of their own, one off a penalty from Charlie Dennis and one off a gorgeous cross and header from Darius Johnson. And then Diego Pepe, this youngster has had himself a night so far. 2 goals, and including the one to give Texoma a 3-2 lead. Phoenix with a lot of work to do. Also, a lot of work potentially coming in off the bench.
So much work to do. Stars on the bench lying in wait for Phoenix Rising. Guys like Hope Avayevu and Joe Margarita will break all that down. And this 3-2 score with Texoma in the lead here in the 3rd week of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Kevin Cardez, Sammy O'Brien back with the Phoenix Rising Radio halftime report on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network in just a moment.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL Champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey, Phoenix Rising fans. This is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Coming up Monday on The Lunch Break, how did the Diamondbacks fare in their 3-game set against the Cincinnati Reds? Did they keep the good times rolling, or was it 1 step forward and 2 steps back? Plus, they've got the GM. They've got the coach. The summer of Durant is in full swing. What is the latest on the Suns and their plans with KD? All of it, Monday's edition of The Lunch Break, 11 to 1, right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Now we go back to the field to break down the first half action with the Rising Radio Halftime Report on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
3-2, and it's not Phoenix in the lead. Texoma has taken a 3-2 lead in the first half against USL Championship side Phoenix Rising at home in Sherman, Texas. It's a brace from Diego Pepe that has Texoma on top by a goal. Charlie Dennis for Phoenix Rising converted a penalty drawn by Colin Smith in the 21st minute. Darius Johnson then received a beautiful cross from Charlie Dennis again, headed it in acrobatically that initially had them in the lead. Now Texoma has completely leveled it. They have completely taken the lead, and they hold a 1-goal lead with 45 minutes to play. I'm Kevin Cardez, joined by Sammy O'Brien on the Rising Radio Halftime Report here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. So much to break down, but Sammy, what a frantic half of football.
Yeah, Kevin, it is the first 25 minutes were crazy, and then it kind of calmed down, but Diego Pepe scores the third to give Texoma the lead, and it has been a game of all sorts. Phoenix kind of came out the gates hot, couldn't get one to go, and the next thing you know, on a counter, on a mistake, a turnover from Phoenix, Texoma puts one into the back of the net. Phoenix gets 2 of their own, and then Texoma comes back in the 26th and 41st, both courtesy of the 20-year-old Diego Pepe, and that is where we stand. This is not where Phoenix should be. They know what is at hand. We even saw when Darius Johnson scored that gorgeous, gorgeous header, no emotion on his face, running right back to his spot to kick the ball off again, because they know what they need to do and what is at stake.
So much at stake here in USL Jägermeister Cup Group 2. It's a loaded group. San Antonio FC, New Mexico United, Colorado Springs Switchbacks, El Paso Locomotive, and Phoenix Rising make up the USL Championship sides. If there's one theme among those 5 teams, it's being at the top of the Western Conference. El Paso, a renaissance year. Colorado Springs, the reigning champions of the USL Championship. San Antonio, New Mexico, Goliaths, along with Phoenix Rising in the West. Then Union Omaha, rounding out the bottom of the group, the reigning champions of USL League One. And Texoma now has jumped all the way into third place in Group 2. Phoenix Rising dropped all the way down into 6th, but would jump as well into 3rd place if they were to somehow take 3 points from this one. So much on the line, Sammy. What does Phoenix need to do in the second half to get level and get even? Because at this point, we just need to find one.
Yeah, Phoenix needs to come back to their roots, and what was working earlier in the first half, it was that trio, Sion Emmers, Charlie Dennis, Colin Smith, playing kind of little 3-man there down on that right side. It led to a penalty. It led to both of their goals, I should say. And they just need to go back to that. And props to Texoma as well, identifying that and slowing that down. Phoenix really only had 2 final third entries by my count in the second part of that first half. So it's really going back to that, and also maybe getting a little bit of help off the bench. You have Gerald Margarita back. He's probably going to come in at some point. Hope Aveyevu, who's been the star, the man of the hour for Phoenix. So there's firepower coming in off the bench, but there's also firepower on the field. They have what it takes. It's just, can they execute?
Looking for execution in the second half. We'll be back with a little out-of-town scoreboard, some more as to what's on the bench. What stars can Phoenix bring into this game to maybe tilt the tables against Texoma? It's Phoenix Rising and Texoma FC. Texoma in the lead by 3-2. Back in just a moment with a little bit more on the Rising Radio halftime report with Sammy O'Brien and Kevin Cardes.
Suzuchuku's in. Arteaga!
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL Champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
You're listening to the Rising Radio Halftime Report on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
3-2, your score at the half between Texoma and Phoenix. Texoma firmly in the lead against USL Championship side Phoenix Rising FC in the Jägermeister Cup. A lot has gone on. Rhode Island knocked off Portland Hearts of Pine earlier on this week in a 4-1 battering. Forward Madison took down Knoxville SC 1-0. Greenville Triumph took down the Miami FC 2-0. Hartford Athletic fell to Detroit City in a penalty shootout after a 2-2 draw through the 90. Birmingham Legion did the same. They fell to Indy 11 in a 1-1 draw that turned into a penalty shootout. Pittsburgh Riverhounds took a 1-0 win against Westchester SC, and Lexington took a 3-0 win against Richmond Kickers. Currently going on right now, Charleston Battery and South Georgia Tormenta tied 3-3 apiece right now. Absolute nosedive going on over there. South Georgia looking to pull off what would look like to be the impossible. Loudoun United drawn up right now 1-1 with Charlotte Independence. FC Tulsa up 2-1 against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Texoma obviously up 3-2 against Phoenix Rising. New Mexico United and Colorado Springs Switchbacks level right now at 1-1 through just 31 minutes played. That was just equalized by Colorado Springs. And San Antonio stands up 1-0 against Union Omaha. Those two games currently being played in the group in which Phoenix Rising and Texoma find themselves in. Texoma just playing their second game in USL Jägermeister Cup play. That's sort of the drawback to playing in one of the two 7-team groups in the USL Jägermeister Cup, which it makes it a little weird. Sammy, it's odd because you not only don't play every team in your group, but when you're in a group like Texoma and Phoenix, you don't even play every week.
Yeah, it's very odd, and really just everything stacked against Texoma as a new club this season. Didn't play the first few weeks of the USL League One season as well. Really just behind. They did obviously have a rough start to their season, and they have been on fire recently, and it has showed these guys have firepower. They have the grit. They have the desire. And again, they lead at the half and just really a stunning 45. Who knows what this next 45 has in store?
Next 45 sharply on the way here as Phoenix will get ready to restart play here in Sherman, Texas. It's a brace from Diego Pepe that currently has Texoma in the lead. And on his own, Brandon McManus has 2 goal contributions of his own. He scored the opening goal in the 7th minute. He assisted on the 3rd goal for Diego Pepe and crew, and now Texoma stands a goal above the rest of the crowd. Phoenix Rising firmly on the chase in a game in which I don't believe they thought they would be. Now, we'll see what they do off the bench. And they have a fairly deep one, Sammy O'Brien. But the 2 big names, obviously, Jerome Margarita and Hope Avievi.
Yeah, those are the 2 guys we'll absolutely see tonight. Jerome Margarita, they're so glad to have him back from Gold Cup duties. He did great in the Gold Cup, a goal and an assist against Haiti. But regardless, what can they bring to the table tonight? And Pa Motoka also has guys on the bench ready for Zion Emmers. Really hasn't played too much since February, so we don't know how much he really has left in the tank. 56 total minutes in 3 appearances for Phoenix. Coming into this game, already 45 under his belt. Can't imagine he's going to go past more than 65 or so. So what goes on there? And really just how much longer can Phoenix hold on, or the change is going to be made now with 45 to go?
And there's a lot on the line, too, for the center backs of this team. Braxton Montgomery still not converted to a professional contract, still on the academy contract, and he's currently committed to Northern Illinois University to go play Division I soccer in the NCAA. That doesn't bode well for a team that right now, if you were to ask them to throw out another center back, only has Axel Asenge, who's likely getting a little needed rest after starting 8 games in a row for the club. Play quickly restarted for Phoenix. They play it backwards. They'll move now right to left as Texoma moves left to right. Texoma still in the all-black, black top, black shorts kit with the long black socks. Phoenix Rising in their red shirt, white shorts with red socks kit. And for now, it looks like Texoma is going to be the one to make a few choice decisions. They'll make a quick substitution. It'll be their captain who comes off. It'll be Chavez off for Kilween, and we'll see what else they can get going here. Looks like Phoenix decides to not make any moves at all, Sammy O'Brien. Quickly in the final third as that's put out for a throw-in in the attacking third for Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix choosing to not make any changes, assuming that will be coming here in the next 10, 15 minutes or so. Really, that back line struggled a little bit tonight. We've seen a couple of mistakes, turnovers from Braxton Montgomery led to a goal. JP Skiers also had one, a kind of turnover and an interception that led to a Texoma goal as well.
Early activity from John A. turns into a quick pass from Quaisho and Darius Johnson, who drifts into the center of the park and sends it all the way out wide for Charlie Dennis. Dennis breaking the final third, trying to break the box. Can he serve a cross? And it's parried away by Seeger. Oh, Aaron Seeger has another beautiful dive and stop. A corner on the way for Phoenix in the 47th. Still 3-2 Texoma. But now Phoenix getting back to what they were doing originally in the first half, which is pressing and knocking, trying to break down that door. The first half, they had 75% of possession and 9 shots. It only turned into 2 goals to Texoma's 3. Dennis to take the corner. Right arm to the sky, serves a left-footed ball to the corner of the box. Dragged to ground is JP Skiers. And another corner on the way for Phoenix. Still 3-2, 47th minute.
Yeah, Phoenix knocking again, especially on that right side. Charlie Dennis, Zion Emmers really leading the charge and just putting Phoenix in a good possession, especially on those set pieces where they struggled on early on in the year, has really come around for them. in this next part of the USL Championship season.
Stashvitsky, the one to go to ground, he was a little shaken up when he hit the ground, but he's all good. Gets up and jogs it off. 48th minute, Charlie Dennis to serve again. Left-footed ball on the way to the back post to the boot of Darius Johnson, and he did get a boot to it, and it looks like a goal kick on the way for Texoma, and a little knock to the head there of what looks like number 15. That's Dillamini.
And another thing Phoenix has to do this half, Kevin, is dominate the possession like they did in the first half, 75% in the first half. It's got to be around that, if not higher, in the second half here, as now comes Texoma the other way.
Here comes Texoma, quickly snuffed out by J.P. Skierson crew. Henry puts a quick right foot to the ball, plays it short only for Jamison Ping and Braxton Montgomery. Moving it to the left for Carl Fred Saint. Saint down the line for Ping. Ping, near side touchline, beats John A. Tries to put a ball back out for Darius Johnson, who wins the header in the air, knocks the ball out of the night sky. Quaisho, near side touchline, eager to play slow. Drags the ball out with his left foot, then drags it all the way back for Saint. Saint to Montgomery, center back in the 49th. Still 3-2 Texoma. J.P. Skierce, left foot to the ball, finds Ping, breaks the line. Jamison Ping finds Darius Johnson on the near side touchline, finally entering the final third. Johnson dancing. Can he beat Valentine? Valentine gets blown by Darius Johnson, snuffs it off of him. Corner on the way for Phoenix. Fancy footwork from Darius Johnson turns into a corner kick in the 49th.
And Phoenix again coming right back, breaking that final third, another set piece opportunity. What can they do? It looks like it's going to be the youngster Jamison Ping to take this thing, Kevin.
Jamison Ping walks the ball out to the near side corner flag. Right arm to the sky, nestles his left foot beside it, takes 7 steps backwards. Little jog. Here comes the run up and the service from Jamison Ping. High flying to that back post, trying to find Saint. Can't quite get there. Darius Johnson watches it track out, and now booted away by Texoma. It'll be Emmers to run it all the way back. Emmers searching for that center circle. Montgomery's open. He receives. Left foot to the ball. Breaking the half. Sends it to the near side touchline for Ping. Ping dancing with John A. Lamin manages to push the ball back. Montgomery all the way back for Henry. Near the defensive semicircle. Braxton. Quaisho. Near side touchline back for Henry again. More left to right movement. Can they find a quality chance on the net? Back for Henry again. Tristan serves out for Braxton. Montgomery surging into the center. Formella finally holding up play. Finds Emmers. Moving it from left to right. Center circle finds a slow jog from Colin Smith. Breaking a line for Formella. One-touch football for Emmers. Emmers breaking into that final third. Now it's Charlie Dennis. Edge of the box. Top of the box now for J.P. Skierce. A short ball for Formella. Nobody dragged to ground. No foul. Turns around and fires. It's off the defender. Back for Johnson. Now left side for Jamison Ping. Serves it off of Jamin. Lamin Jane serves that one out, and another dangerous opportunity here for Phoenix. 51st minute, corner kick on the way for Phoenix. Still 3-2 Texoma.
And we touched on this earlier, Kevin, the free kicks and the corner kicks being taken by different guys. Usually it's Hope Avievu up and down the line. It's been Charlie Dennis and now Jamison Ping 2 times in a row.
Ping serves to the near post, quickly batted down there by Perkins. Perkins puts a strong forehead to it, and it just ricochets off. Trying to shake that one. That was a quick piece of service from Jamo. Jamo will take again. Near side corner flag. 2 arms to the sky. 51st minute turning into the 52nd. 3-2 Texoma. 2 arms to the sky. A slow run up. A serve to the back post. Headed in by Charlie Dennis. Charlie gets it in. A 52nd minute brace for Charlie Dennis. Jamison Ping finds an assist. It's level 3-3. Sherman, Texas is stunned, and Phoenix is back in it.
Charlie Dennis with a great play finds that ball. Great setup from Jamison Ping. That cross was put to perfection. Charlie Dennis, all he has to do is get a bit of a forehead in it, and it's back into the back of the net. Charlie Dennis, Quaisho with a bit of celebration, but that's kind of it. Everyone just booking it right back to center pitch. There is still a lot of work to be done for this team.
That's Charlie's 3rd goal contribution of the night. He scored a penalty, he assisted on the next, and now he scores again. What a night for Charlie Dennis and crew. A foul on the far side touchline there appears to be on Brandon McManus. Texoma wins a free kick in the left-hand half space in the attacking third. Physio might have to run out to check on the head now for McManus. 53rd minute, level at 3-3. And now the goalkeeper, Aaron Seeger, is down and getting both legs stretched out as the physio for Texoma marches all the way out to the man adorned in all yellow. It's a yellow kit with yellow sleeves, yellow shorts, and long yellow socks, and he motions towards his right knee, trying to shake something out, maybe just a cramp. It's hot in Sherman, Texas right now. It was 93 degrees when the first kick was hit. Likely not as hot anymore, but as the sun goes down, the heat doesn't leave immediately. This grass pitch gets a little humid. 53rd minute, level at 3.
Yeah, heat absolutely playing a factor for this, and fatigue comes into it as well. But again, Phoenix will have a lot of fresh legs off the bench. Has to be coming very soon, as they're going to have a good kind of set piece here coming for Texoma. Can Phoenix hold? Can they not blunder and concede another? It's really about getting a stop and getting back quick. This is kind of killing their momentum right now, as they did a lot where they were able to score and get right back into it. So let's see what they can do as this injury delay kind of ticks on.
Seeger still down. Now the physio motioning for more people to come out and take a look. Let's talk a little bit about cool-down theory, Sammy. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's the concept in which, and it's talked about a lot in soccer literature and a lot of the high-level mechanisms of the game, in the sense that when you score or concede a goal, the 8-minute cool-down period is where you're most vulnerable. So whether you score the goal or you concede one, you are most vulnerable out of any other moment in the game to either score again or get scored on, because of the emotion that comes from scoring a goal or the emotion that comes from giving up a goal, and suddenly everything is a mess. It feels like that has absolutely been the case tonight, and now we're watching that slow cooldown period trickle out because there's a man down.
Yeah, it absolutely has been a factor tonight. Phoenix with a goal from Dennis, the penalty in the 21st, then Johnson came right back in the 24th with his second. It also happened to Phoenix earlier on in this season in that disaster game that really is a pain to talk about in Detroit, where they conceded 3 times at the very end to lose 3-2. Obviously a 2-0 lead being the worst to have in football.
With Seeger still down, now they ready Mason McCready, and it looks like he'll jog out. They are carrying Aaron Seeger off the pitch, and he is incensed. He is not happy with that. Not in the sense that he thinks that he could go. He's upset that he's hurt. That's not one that you want to see. He's had a fairly good night, although giving up 3 goals, it's one of those ones where he won't forget it. He was spectacular punching in the air multiple times tonight. He has done just enough. Unfortunately, it looks like he'll exit here in the 56th and make way for Mason McCready. A little on Mason, 22 years old, out of Providence, Rhode Island. Played in Scotland's second division, the Scottish Championship, with Patrick Thistle, and he's made 6 appearances this season. He's made 17 saves, Sammy, but he's conceded 17 goals.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. We saw him play and start at the first portion of this season for Texoma, and then be taken off and benched in replacement for Javier Garcia. But he will get an opportunity to kind of prove himself and earn his flowers back for this Texoma team in a crucial spot. You're level 3-3 in your first ever year of existence with a championship side. The stakes could not be higher.
High stakes here as another change on the way for Texoma. And it looks like Brandon McManus is taken off quickly here for Maciej Bortuzde. Quick change for the 5'11" man from Poland. He played a ton. He's been loaned out to 3 different Polish clubs in his career. Stands at 5'11" and 174 pounds. Long ball over the top. Headed away by JP Skiers. Now finally restarting play. 57th minute. And that means there's going to be a lot of added time on the way. A quick ball through for Darius Formella. Formella, center of the park, finds the run of Jamison Ping. Ping on the right-hand side. Booted down there by William Perkins. And it looks like maybe a handball called on the way down that right-hand side, 57th minute, immediately a dangerous free kick awarded, probably 42 or 43 yards out from the mouth of the goal, situated 6 or 7 yards above the penalty area and the box. 58th minute, level at 3. Charlie Dennis, the near man, 2 hands on his hips.
This is right where Phoenix needs to be, where they wanted to get to, just couldn't because of the injury. Now here we go again with another set piece, and where can they find it? Who is going to be the guy to step up?
Looking for who will step up. Charlie Dennis standing to the right of the ball, looking to deliver an in-swinger off of his left foot. Right arm to the sky, 58th minute, still tied. A ball to the back post, trying to find JP Skiers, headed away very, very well by Texoma. Formella centers the ball, chipping it up and over back to the right-hand side, trying to find Dennis again, knotted along. Carl Fred St. chases the ball high into the night sky. Charlie Dennis trying to put a boot to it, and William Perkins snuffs it out. Ball high up and into the stands here at Bearcat Stadium. 59th minute, still level at 3-3. Man to check in for McManus is Maciek Bortynacek. Forward, 5'11" from Poland. Now a man goes down for Phoenix, and it's JP Skiers who's gone to ground. He rolled a little bit. Foul ruled in favor of Phoenix. A quick restart here. Ball moved over to the left for Quayshow, 59th. Quayshow down the near side touchline for Darius Johnson, trying to beat Valentine. Moves it back for Saint. Braxton, right-hand side. Finally breaks the half line. Emmers plays the ball down for Smith. Can Smith get a boot to it? Very, very tidy defending from Staszewski. And a throw in far side touchline deep in the attacking third. It'll be quickly restarted here in the 59th, but a foul won heartily by Texoma. Still 3-3.
Phoenix keeping the pressure up on the press, not really letting Texoma get out of their own half.
Ball won back by Texoma. Quickly switched away for Lahman, but Tristan Henry tracks it back. Slow and steady on his back heels. Saint through for Skiers. Lahman had a chance at that one. Skiers to the far side for Smith. Smith back for Braxton. Dancing from right to left as a quick run has turned into a challenge win. On the run from Maciek. Quickly making an impact.
Yeah, Maciek had a good impact last week as well against Charleston.
Darius Johnson, left-hand side, trying to find the head of Charlie Dennis, soars over everybody. Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, Maciek, good impact last week, coming in last second as Davy Mason got injured in warm-ups for Texoma.
We've received some word now, too, that it looks like the Solomon Asante injury was sustained on the game winner last week, and he's been out pretty much since then. 61st minute. Quick restart from Mason McCready. Ball on the right corner of the penalty area. A long ball up and over to the right-hand half space. High into the night sky, won by Darius Johnson. Johnson beats Valentine. Valentine goes stumbling. Johnson still winning it down the near side touchline. The ball goes out of bounds. Throw-in ruled in favor of Phoenix. 61st. It'll be a foul one about 2 feet away from the near side touchline. JP Skiers, center of the park, plays back for Quayshow. Uses his left foot to shuttle the ball back for Carl Fred Saint, still wearing the captain's armband. No substitutions yet for Phoenix. Far hand side, Emmers. Can't do much, has to track it back. Dennis for Tristan, back for Carl. Up and over the half line. Johnson dancing with the ball in his right foot, beats Lahman. Trying to split 2 legs. Quayshow can't quite get there. Texoma wins the ball back. Lahman, more one-touch football back to Valentine. Valentine to the center of the park, and a long ball up and over the top, trying to find the run of anybody in the area, but it's headed away by Tristan. Tristan is 30 yards out from his goal, but does just enough. Heroic from the goalkeeper, and now 2 men down right on top of the box in Phoenix's attacking third. Colin Smith went jogging there with Donald Benamna, and they both went down. Hard contact, and Smith is holding his right thigh. Benamna is holding his left. 62nd minute, still level. 2 men down And Colin Smith is the minutes leader for Phoenix Rising this season. They can't afford to lose him. Benamna now holding his left hip, motioning for the physio as the center referee motions out for everybody to come forward. Colin Smith trying to shake this one off with the jersey in his face, but Benamna is writhing in pain.
Yeah, Colin Smith has been ever so good for Phoenix, been a key piece of that back line and really of their squad. As you said, the minutes leader, he has been one of the guys to go to. So far, he had a good assist last week to Hope Avievu against Charleston. He's had plenty of those, been good kind of on the attacking side as well. Really been a good playmaker tonight as well.
Colin Smith so steady for Phoenix in 2025. Came over from Rhode Island where he played a decent amount, but not as much as he would have liked to. Came to Phoenix looking to become that everyday starter. He has done just that, and he has been so sturdy as a right back here in Phoenix, and that's primarily where he's played. He's played center back a few times as well, as Jerome Margarita is up and moving down the touchline, looking at Darius Johnson. Maybe as he tucks his jersey into those white shorts, that sort of signature moment that we know. Jerome Margarita is up and moving in the bullpen. It's time for him to enter, and Benamna is still down with the physio, writhing in pain. The physio checking out his core. He went to ground hard.
Yeah, that was kind of just a bang play, a really dangerous play on both sides. Tristan Henry comes 5-7 yards out of his box to head it away as he collided with Colin Smith.
Asel Asenge as well. The Cameroonian readies himself at the near side touchline, and here comes the cavalry for Phoenix Rising. Jerome Margarita checks in for Jamison Ping. Asel Asenge, he'll check in for Braxton Montgomery.
Two key pieces of this Phoenix team now onto the pitch. The reinforcements are here. There are still more reinforcements on the way. We still have not seen Hope Avievu. Still a lot of football to be played nonetheless.
Now reinforcements on the way for Texoma. Benamna is going to be escorted off the pitch, carried, his right hip thriving in pain. Luke McCormick will be the man likely to replace. Now Luke McCormick making his long run. The 25-year-old from Derby, England. He played at West Virginia University as well. He scored in the last 2 games in a row, and the game before that he assisted as well. Part of 3 very important results. Three goal contributions in a row for McCormick. He also graduated from the Nottingham Forest Academy, and he had 80 appearances for West Virginia right after that. A very lengthy career in football for him so far that now continues professionally with Texoma FC. Finally waiting for the restart. There is going to be a lot of added time, Sammy.
Yeah, there is. These have been 2 very, very long injury timeouts, probably benefiting Texoma, slowing down Phoenix, especially right after that Charlie Dennis goal, as we talked about, kind of the scoring cool down as play finally resumes.
Play finally resumes. Ball up and over the top, quickly booted away. Texoma trying to win the ball back, but they can't quite get it done. Dennis wins the ball in the center of the park, moves it out left for Quaisho. Now Asenge and Carlfred Saint, your center back pairing, at least for the time being. Asel has been so sturdy on loan from LA Galaxy. Formella, center of the park, loses the ball. Booted away there by Machek. Machek moves it out to the left. Texoma on the break. Pepe trying to find his third, and Asenge cleans it up. That ever-steady defensive presence of Asel Asenge is so needed. They almost lose the ball there. Pepe's still on the press. Tristan Henry puts a very strong boot to it as it drifts up and over the top. Texoma has to track all the way back. Gray moves it out for Valentine. Valentine sends the ball up and over for nobody but Tristan Henry and Asel Asenge. Asenge takes the ball from Henry, doesn't let him touch it at all. Saint left-hand side. Near side touchline for Quaisho. Quaisho moves it quickly back for Carlfred Saint, who moves it back out for Asenge. Left to right action now, slowly drifting into that middle third. Colin Smith, far side touchline. Chip ball up and over the top for the run of Jerome Margarita. Who's going to get there first? Texoma does. Jurl can't quite get there. A quick hand to the sky saying, my bad. 67th minute, still 3-3.
Phoenix with the right idea, getting Margarita involved immediately. Just a little bit too much on that one, but definitely foreshadowing of what's to come, getting the ball to their star as much as possible.
They'll try to find him. Darius Johnson and Jurl. Margarita sharing the pitch is usually something pretty special to watch. JP Skiers hounding in defense for Texoma as they keep the ball. Stashvitsky moves it back out for Valentine. Near side touchline, one-touch ball right through the center there for Leland Gray. Gray, long chip ball up and over the top. Carl-Fred Saint trying to beat the run of Lamin. Lamin, center of the box. Can he find another goal? Lamin Jane. Texoma up 4-3. 68th minute. Absolute disaster for Phoenix Rising. It was played beautifully up and over the top by Leland Gray. And he found the hardy run of Lamin Jane, who scores against his former club. Carl-Fred Saint was so close to getting a boot to it, and he did, but Jane just beat it. Tristan Henry bit on the fake, and Jane soaring into the night sky. Texoma back in front.
Yeah, Jaway just a step ahead of Carl Saint and gets Henry to bite on the fake, doing everything correct. And this Phoenix sideline is stunned.
4 goals conceded tonight for Phoenix Rising. A back line that's not all too regular, but is in the same way. They're starting left back Emi Quacio, they're starting right back Colin Smith, but they started without either of their starting center backs that they began 2025 with, both Mo and Pat Marboy out tonight for injury. Asela Senge on the bench. So they asked their academy kid to step up with Carl-Fred Saint, who didn't start as a traditional center back, but has played it as a pro before. It hasn't worked out. 4-3 Texoma in the 69th minute. Not a nice result on the way. Far side touchline, Colin Smith. Quickly played back by Jurl Margarita. Asela Senge near the half line. Saint, still wearing the captain's armband, moves it to the near side touchline for Quacio. Finds one touch, back out for Emmers, who's pushed off the ball there by Domini. Tristan, top of his box, finds a Senge. Cool, calm, and collected. One touch from Charlie Dennis turns into a quick run from JP Skiers, who chips a long crossing ball up for Darius Johnson, puts a right foot to it. Moved along there by Charlie Dennis. Darius Johnson makes one miss. Can anybody get to the ball? It's a point to the spot. Penalty on the way for Phoenix. And it looks like it might have been a handball ruled on the edge of the box there. Stashvitsky gives it up, and suddenly Phoenix has a chance to get level again. 70th minute, 4-3 Texoma for the time being.
The chaos ensues, Kevin, and once again, you just can't believe what you are seeing, and Phoenix is going to have a prime opportunity to get the equalizer on this one. I mean, I'm at a loss for words right now.
They send Charlie Dennis back to the spot. 71st minute. He's already converted once tonight. He'll have a chance to convert again. We'll see if he can. The Englishman stands to the right of the ball. Mason McCready now. It's not the same goalkeeper that Charlie took a penalty against just an hour ago. Mason stands in, 2 arms to the sky. Charlie Dennis stands to the right of the ball, about 7 steps back into the right. A shadow cast to the left of the ball. The center referee marching backwards, looking at the line. Everybody's in position, and now we wait for the whistle. 71st minute, 4-3 Texoma. Charlie Dennis looking to equalize from the spot. A deep breath and a right foot back. Here comes the delivery, and it's good. 4-4 level, and Charlie Dennis beats the correct guess of Mason McCready. All level on the road, 8 goals in total, and we have a very, very familiar scoreline, Sammy O'Brien.
Yes, we do. Going all the way back to one of the first games of the season for Phoenix in El Paso with just a hectic 4-4 draw. But we still have 20 minutes to go in this thing, and if we are all level at the end of this, there's no extra time play in the Jägermeister Cup. We go straight to a shootout. We knew how a shootout went for Phoenix last time in the Cup against New Mexico.
That's Charlie Dennis's 3rd goal of the night. His hat trick is accompanied with an assist. That's 4 total goal contributions on the night. Good for a 9.8 FOTMOB rating. Looking for the 10. Darius Johnson down the near side touchline, trying to win the ball, keeps it in play. He does, breaks the final third, played for Quayshow. Quayshow to the center of the box, quickly booted away there. Texoma at the ready, but a corner on the way here in the 73rd minute. Phoenix now trying to make their mark. It's their turn to maybe finally take the lead here. All knotted, 4 apiece in Sherman, Texas. 73rd minute in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Perhaps the most exciting game we've seen all year long, and we still have 20 minutes to go. Emmers plays one back for Quayshow, trapped in the near side corner. Emmers tries to get it free, and the ball played quickly there for Phoenix Rising and crew. Throwing on the way, Quayshow, 2 arms to the sky, finds the hip of Darius Johnson, and he loses it out of bounds. Now, quick restart here for Texoma, 73rd minute, 4-4.
Phoenix kind of came back there again, what we've kind of talked about and seen all night long. Pushing into that final third right after a goal, but just not able to pull it together and really get a real opportunity.
Quayshow loses the ball out of bounds there. Throw-in ruled in favor of Texoma and their defensive third. A long ball up and over the top from Reed Valentine. Valentine can't quite find anybody, and JP Skeers is the one to pick the ball up and out of the air. Colin Smith gives a hearty run to the far side touchline, breaks the half line, trying to chip break in through. Darius Formella finds the run of Charlie Dennis. He's broken the final third, stops, starts. Can he find it again? Trying to beat McCready. Finds Emmers in the center of the box. Can Emmers put a shot on it? It's defended well by Texoma, cleared out of the box. Heroic defending by Texoma, and now they have a chance to break. Pepe trying to find the run of Johnny. Johnny breaking. Can he find his way through Carl Fred Saint and crew? He does. Through the center, it's booted away by Colin Smith. Smith, the last man in defense in the 74th minute. Lamin Johnny almost had his own brace. Still 4-4.
Charlie Dennis really had the opportunity. He had the goalie all the way out with him. McCready on the ball, just couldn't turn and get the angle to get the shot. He gave it to Emmers. Emmers almost had his first goal in Rising Red, and they come the other way. Chaos, Asenge almost with a mistouch there, and across, and Colin Smith was able to get a leg on it to force it away for a corner, but still Texoma knocking on the door with the lead once again.
Johnny is still down. The physio making another run out to a player in the 75th. There may be 15 minutes of extra time coming after this is all said and done. And Sammy, if this ends in a draw, we go to a penalty shootout.
Yeah, the chaos is not going to stop for the rest of the night, Kevin. And again, 2 injured players on the field for Texoma. The heat definitely becoming a factor as they're cramping. Phoenix seeming to hold up well in this heat. And also might see still a couple potential reinforcements for Phoenix coming off the bench. Still no word of Hope Aveevu, the playmaker, the man of the hour for Phoenix, leading the team in 9 goal contributions this season.
Charlie Dennis has come alive. He scored a goal against Orange County a few weeks ago. That was on June 7th. And he had come back from a very lengthy foot injury that had kept him out until March 8th of this year. Now, coming back, he played a minute in the 3-3 draw to New Mexico United earlier in the Jägermeister Cup on May 31st, and suddenly has etched himself into the books with 3 goals and an assist against Texoma FC from USL League One. But can you do it on a beautifully clear night in Sherman, Texas, Sammy O'Brien?
I think you can, and the opportunity is there in the Sherman. It's been a long stretch of road games here, a long trip to Sherman itself for Phoenix, a flight to Dallas, and then a 2.5-hour bus ride. Phoenix definitely has to be feeling the travel fatigue, but can they come out on top in a game that should not be going this way? I don't think anybody expected it to go this way, and it's been a mess really, but it's also been a very exciting and competitive game on paper. Phoenix 2.18 expected goals just to the 0.85 of Texoma, and we are even at 4-4.
Charlie Dennis at one point in his career played for FC Tucson. He accumulated over 40 appearances for them in USL League One back in 2020 and 2021. He scored 10 goals with them in 2021 and recorded 8 assists. One of the best players in USL League One period that year, then made the jump to the championship with Oakland Roots. and then Tampa Bay for the next 2 years, and he's found his last two here in Phoenix with Phoenix Rising all the way back in Arizona. Tonight, he's added 3 goals and an assist to that counter, firmly etching his way into USL Jägermeister Cup history with one of the performances to remember. And there's still 13 minutes to play. 78th minute, we're knotted at 4 apiece. Corner kick on the way from Texoma in front of the mouth of the net. Tristan Henry trying to pump up his guys. Corner on the way, served in swinging ball, high into the night sky, trying to find the back post. Darius Johnson nods it up and along as it goes out for a quick throw-in on the near side touchline, deep in the attacking third. Darius Johnson ushers everybody away, trying to make sure that everybody knows what to do. 78th minute. Quick throw-in from Valentine, finds the far corner, all the way, served into the near post and into the arms of Tristan Henry. No pressure needed. Charlie Dennis gets the rollout. Now he gets the run, breaking into the middle third. A long ball through for Gerald Margarita, trying to break the final third himself. Marga finds Dennis. Finds Marga again, deep into the right-hand half space, taking a shot, parried away by McCready. That one was on target, and it would have slipped into the top bins. Mason McCready gets his penalty dive back. Beautiful save. Corner on the way for Phoenix, taking on the left-hand side. Near side flag for us, 79th minute. And it'll be Emmers who will wave over. And here comes another substitution for Phoenix. Darius Johnson taken off now for Isan Nino Sako. And Zian Emmers has been replaced with Hope Kodzu Avayevu, Phoenix Rising's leading scorer, assister, big chance creator, shot taker, shot maker. The star boy takes his place on the pitch. Jurl to take the near side corner flag. It's parried away by McCready. It was a beautiful cross to the center of the box. Knotted down by Hope Avayevu. Quayshu tries to win the challenge in the top of the air. Can't quite get there. Now busting along for a run, Texoma and crew, but McCormick can't quite get there in time. Throw-in ruled in favor of Phoenix. McCormick has to take the long jog back. Thrown in there by Hope Avayevu, back for Charlie Dennis. Dennis back for Asenge. Nestled in their own half. Finds Smith on the far side touchline. Still knotted at 4 apiece. 80th minute, 10 to go. Likely a lot of added time on the way. Smith, Asenge, deep in their defensive third. Tristan, back for Saint. Fancy footwork there, trying to beat Machek. JP Skeers moves it back out to the touchline for Colin Smith. Nobody can find that line-breaking ball. JP Skeers has to shuttle it back again. Asenge moving it for Hope Avayevu. Calls and gets his first touch. Avayevu off of his left foot. Brilliant pass there by Quaysho. Quaysho off of his own chest. Throw in one there by Texoma. Sako finally getting involved in the action himself. Man, Stashvitsky has been so good for Texoma, huh, Sammy?
Yeah, he absolutely has. The youngster just 19 years old, throwing himself all over the pitch and really been a staple on that back line.
Dilamini loses the ball. Gerald Margarita serves into the center of the box. It goes absolutely nowhere. It's left there by Stashvitsky as Dilamini went down to ground, and he's still there. We'll see if the physio has to trot out again. He's on his hands and knees trying to usher his way back into the game. It was a hearty challenge there that he won on the back of Charlie Dennis. Play restarts, 81st, still 4-4. Far side touchline, Dennis on the chase. A good ball there. JP Skeers snuffs it out. Skeers back for Asenge. Pepe on the run as well. Henry leaves it out for Saint. Near side touchline for Quaysho. Breaking the half line. And a man goes down again for Texoma, and out comes the physio. It looks like it's Laminjane. Jane still down.
We're going to have ample amounts of extra time, Kevin. This is the third now injury delay, and Jawe looks like he's down in a lot of pain right now. But going back to Phoenix, they are at as close to full strength as they can get with the available players. They have all their playmakers on the field. What opportunities can they come up with? What can they do? That shot from Gerald Margarita that was saved, that was very reminiscent of his heroic game-winning goal all the way back in San Antonio, where Phoenix picked up their first win of the season.
Johnny taking a slow walk to the touchline. We'll see if he gets replaced by anybody now. Diego Pepe's still on the pitch. 5'9" forward on loan from FC Dallas, has a brace tonight. His other 2 goals courtesy of Brandon McManus and John A. Avievu chests the ball down off the restart from Quayshow. Avievu strong through the center, wins the ball back. Sacco plays through to the middle, snuffed out by Texoma quickly. Poorly played pass there. JP Skierce wins it back. Skierce with an arm wrapped up with Machek and his defense. Skierce plays the ball back for Dennis, who finds the center line with Asenge. Far side touchline. Smith moving centrally, drifting. Formella can't quite stay there. Formella loses the ball for Pepe. Pepe moves it all the way back in a long run up and out of bounds there. Texoma loses it. 83rd minute throw in for Phoenix, still 4-4. It'll be Luke McCormick on the far side who lost the ball. Asenge back for Saint, moving right to left. Still wearing the captain's armband. Saint near side for Quayshow. Quayshow moves it down for Hope. Can he find the inner crossing run? Avievu drifting centrally into the center of the park. Moves it all the way back and has to square it back for Saint. Saint slicing the ball over for Asenge. Asenge moves the ball down to the far side touchline. Now it's Marga. Marga leaves the ball out for Charlie Dennis. Center of the park. Marga breaking the final third. Can Marga beat McCready? McCready puts it in the top of the air. Sacco has a chance in the center of the box and Hope can't get there. Moved away by Machek again. Texoma chasing the ball. Throw in, far side touchline, but maybe a foul ruled in favor of Texoma on the far side. Sacco was so close.
Yeah, Phoenix knocking once again, and so close like you just said. That play was run to perfection. A perfect ball through for Margarita, a near perfect cross. Just about six inches to a foot off. And Phoenix comes up short once again.
Just about 6-7 inches away from it. So close. Far side touchline, moving over the half line. Texoma finally breaking the final third on their own accord. Asenge does just enough to defend and a goal kick ruled in favor of Phoenix. Tristan Henry will get the quick restart as Asenge trots the ball out to that corner. We'll see where he decides to play first. Henry slowly moving out of his box. Saint trapped in his own third. Texoma no longer going to press. They'll let Phoenix dictate. Asenge. Dennis. Can they move centrally? 85th minute, 4-4. A run from Machek, quickly cleaned up by Carl Fred Saint. Saint moves out for Asenge, finding Smith, breaking over the half line on the far side touchline. Right hand half space, Colin Smith darting, he's moving. So much room to run. Marga, one ball back for Dennis, who leaves out for JP Skierce. Skierce finds Quayshow. Now, can he beat Machek? Quayshow finds Hope. Left hand half space, a beautiful dart and move, and a quickly centered up ball booted away there by Valentine. Valentine only as far as Formella and crew. Asenge cleans it. Asenge moving forward for Skierce. Skierce chipped over, no one there. 86th minute, 4-4.
Again, Phoenix coming close with the opportunities. That one was sent into the middle for Sacco, just a step or two away from him before he could get a touch on it. Phoenix really looking for that game winner. You can get the winner, but that's only 2 points, and you need the win specifically if you want to stay alive.
Avievu's going to try to give him the win. Formella almost gets there, but McCready punches the ball out. Foul ruled in favor of Texoma before the play really transpired. Mason McCready has been so sturdy, only conceding that penalty, and he guessed right, but Charlie Dennis has a rocket on his left foot.
Yeah, both penalties from Dennis tonight have been absolutely rockets. Into the top, and the goalie has guessed right both times, but again, just massive plays and stepping up big time. A hat trick tonight for Dennis, obviously.
Definitely didn't shoot low. Massive penalties there as he put it into the top bins. Ball booted into the night sky. Headed along by Hope Avievu. Hold up play from Formella. Formella can't quite get it free, but it's almost lost by Texoma. Still pushed up into the air. Now moved into the defensive half for Phoenix. Saint wins it. Quayshow on the near side. Quayshow trying to beat Machek, and Quayshow slips down. He gets quickly fouled, but restarts play on his own. JP Skierce, center of the park, finds Formella. Formella has a lot of room to move. Can he find the open man? He does. Smith on the far side touchline. Smith serving to the center of the box, booted away by Valentine. Only as far as the chest of JP Skiers, who's thrown to ground, but it's ruled play on. Pepe plays out for John-A. John-A trying to beat Saint. Asenge moving back on his heels. Can he find anybody? Lamin John-A chipped up and over the woodwork. 88th minute, corner on the way for Texoma, still knotted at 4.
Phoenix has their opportunities, but it feels like the last few they sent into the box, they've been low dribbling balls. Really hasn't been much there, and it's giving Texoma these really good opportunities on the counter, and Jawe there had a good one. Great play by Asenge to get a foot for it and send it out. But nonetheless, it'll be a corner for Texoma and another set piece where Phoenix really can't let a man be unmarked, can't really let anything get away from them, especially mental mistakes. It's hot out there. It's been a long, grueling game.
It'll be Machek to take on the far side corner flag. In the 88th minute, turning into the 89th, lots of stoppage likely on the way. Played quickly and it's played short. Machek plays it down for Kendrick all the way to the center. Almost lost by Tristan Henry, but he scurries over and grabs it. Tristan almost lost that ball in front of the mouth of the net. Still 4-4, 89th minute. And John-A is still down. He has fallen over 4 or 5 times, and the run of play finally halts again. Asenge trying to hold him up. The center referee trying to help him out as he gets up and slowly walks over into position. Hope Avayevu trying to hustle the pace. 4-4, 89th minute turning into the 90th. We'll see how much time we have left to play when that board finally goes up. There's been so much stoppage here in the second half. Only 3 minutes in the first. Quayshow chips over for Avayevu, who then plays back for Quayshow. Quayshow now breaking into the final third. Plays a beautiful ball for Sacco, center of the pitch, and a foul ruled in favor of Phoenix. Yellow card comes out of the pocket there for Reed Valentine. The run of play stopped for Phoenix, but it's because Quayshow is thrown to ground there by Valentine.
Yeah, Phoenix might have kind of caught a break a little bit. That one was a bit of an iffy pass from Sacco. Margarita was coming in, but it was a bit offline. He did kind of have to go out of his way. So, again, Phoenix maybe gets away with one there as they'll have another decent set piece with stoppage time looming, which will probably be in the realm of 8 to 10 minutes.
Now, Javier Garcia spraying water out of his Gatorade bottle at the ball as it's placed down at the spot for the free kick. 45 or so yards away from the mouth of the goal, situated on the left-hand half space, about a yard or two away from the near side touchline. It'll be Jerome Margarita to take, the national from Curacao. White tape wrapped around below his left knee. Number 7 for Phoenix Rising in the 90th. We'll see how much extra time comes up right after this kick. Right-footed ball on the way. Everybody's situated on the right-hand side of the box. Center referee still trying to sort everything out. 10 minutes of extra time on the way. We'll play into the 100th, possibly more, depending on the way that this 10 minutes goes. So much football left to play, and perhaps a penalty shootout at the end of all of it. Nodded at 4. Finally, the center referee thinks everything is okay. Jogs over to the middle, and Jurl is the only man near the ball. One-man wall for Texoma. Everybody's situated in that right-hand half space. More delegating from the officials. The whistle's blown. Jurl, a right-footed ball, served to the right side. It goes a little awry. Finds the right hip of Formella. Formella chips over into the center of the box, headed away by Reed. Valentine moves it down for John-A. Now an opportunity for him to run. Can Smith get back in time? It's Smith and Saint to beat as McCormick trots down the other side of the pitch. John-A stops and runs the play up. Hope Avayevu almost jars it free. Here comes another ball from McCormick. It's batted down by Tristan. Tristan, quick restart with Jurl. Near side touchline. Jurl trying to initiate the counter on his own. Jurl goes down and then he throws his body into somebody else, but the foul is ruled in favor of Phoenix. Delamini goes down and he is blown away by the call. He got chipped in the mouth there by the shoulder of what looked to be Jerome Margarita. More stopped play in the 92nd.
Another really dangerous opportunity, but props to Tristan Henry. He makes a play, probably the biggest play he's made tonight, able to jump up way into the air and bat it down. And then Margarita coming the other way, kind of a kind of an odd play. Just as the defender kind of just stopped, just stood still, and Margarita ran into him, kind of rightfully so, as Pa Motoka kind of discussing this over with the head official.
Luke McCormick had a chance, and he put the shot on target. But it wasn't enough. Tristan Henry gets a crucial save here in the 93rd minute. And now Dlamini helped up and out by the physio. Perhaps another substitution on the way from Texoma, or maybe just a quick walk to the touchline. And to talk with the physio, 7 minutes to go here in extra time. Quayshow on the near side will be the one to take. The mullet's back for Emmy. White tape on his left and right wrists. 2 hands on his hips. Number 14 for Phoenix. He was the center of the heroics on the road to the top in 2023, scoring 2 stoppage time goals that ended up propelling them to the very end. More substitutions on the way here for Texoma. It'll be Teddy Baker, number 23, and Philip Spengler, number 23 and number 10, entering the match here. Taking off Lamin Jane, who scored a goal tonight and had a fantastic shift. We'll wait to see who the second substitution comes on for as well. It'll be Dlamini, who exits due to injury. Philip Spengler will replace him, and Spengler has been nothing short of a star for Texoma. In 11 starts so far, he has 5 goals and 3 assists. Spent 2024 with South Georgia, and he made 31 appearances with them. Scored 2 goals, bagged 6 assists. That 8 is already rivaled in 11 appearances for Texoma in 2025. Quayshow, the only man near the ball here in the 94th. Finally, play restarts. Quayshow moves it out and over to the right for Asenge, who moves it down to the right-hand touchline for Joel Margarita. Only Machek to beat. Margarita stops, squares, beats 1, almost beats 2. Smith moves it back for Margarita, who's taken to ground, and the official says play on. Not simulation, but not a foul. Jurl is incensed. 95th minute, still knotted at 4. Sammy O'Brien can't believe it.
Yeah, that was a lot of physicality on that one. It all kind of collapsed together. Sure felt like it could have gone in favor of Phoenix.
95th minute. McCready the one to restart. 4-4. 5 minutes left in extra. Likely more after that recent stoppage. Headed in the air there. JP Skierce tries to put it down. Avayevu can't quite. Moved along by Spengler. Spengler finds an open run. Everybody back. Machek tries to square it free. Off the back of Colin Smith. Machek quickly trying to take the corner. He's waved off there, and slowly jogging over is Teddy Baker. Teddy Baker, the 23-year-old from Bodsey, England. He's an Ipswich Town Academy graduate. And he came over and went stateside, played for Lake Erie College and Hofstra University. He tallied 14 goals and assists. 40 appearances, 18 goals and assists, my apologies. And 40 appearances across the 2. Baker to take. A right-footed ball to the center of the box, headed away by JP Skierce. Finds the right foot of Hope Avayevu, trying to start the counter on his own. Sacco on the run. Avayevu can't quite get out of the box on his own. Spengler in attack. Avayevu just has to set, serve, and square. Up and over the head there of Margarita, but he leaves it out for Sacco. Now, Marga trying to dart down that far side touchline. Puts it on the right foot. Here comes Isan Nino Sacco for Mella and Charlie Dennis. Moves it down for Sacco. Can he find Charlie? But he finds now Quayshow, center of the box. Quayshow takes a shot! Emmy Quayshow with the late screamer. In the 96th minute, Emmy Quayshow finally puts Phoenix ahead. It's 5-4 on the road in Sherman, Texas. And who else but the man with late magic? Emmy Quayshow puts it up.
Late night Quayshow strikes again, a little bit of a blast from the past, and that was gorgeous from the build-up to the pass, finding Quayshow wide open on the other side of the field. Top bin. All McCready could do was watch that one sail by.
Finally, Phoenix finds a lead. And the 9th goal scored tonight belongs to Phoenix. 5-4, Phoenix in the lead. Can they beat the cool down? 97th minute. We were said 10 minutes of extra time, and then there was another long stoppage. Who knows when we'll play? Colin Smith wins a header in the air. Charlie Dennis chips it up and ahead for the waiting run of Formella, who keeps it in bounds somehow, and now Avayevu tries to keep it alive, and another hardy tackle there. Looks like William Perkins threw Avayevu to the ground, and Formella is now in an altercation with Margarita in the center of it, and everybody involved in this one. Texoma a little angrier now. They finally lost that lead. The 5th goal for Phoenix puts them on top. And a little altercation after the fact. Some extracurricular activity, and a yellow card comes up and out of the pocket here from the center referee, trying to have a conversation and sort things out. What'd you see, Sammy?
There was a lot of physicality, a bit of jarring, and the next thing you know, Formella's in a face. Margarita comes out of nowhere. There was a bit of a shove. Yeah, multiple cards definitely going to come out. One was going to come out before the altercation on Texoma. Looks like Phoenix is going to get advantage and a free kick.
Preston Kilwin, the one to take that one. Kilwin goes in the book. Derek Formella goes in the book as well. Trading yellow cards. Phoenix gets the advantage played on. 98th minute, turning into the 99th. Who knows how much football we have left in the tank. Far side touchline. Charlie Dennis, the only rising man in the area besides JP Skeers. We'll see where he plays, whether it's backwards or trying to chip it up and forwards. Plays it back there. Smith. Far side touchline near the half line. Dennis plays all the way back for Asenge. Stuck in his own half. Will they try to drag the clock out as Texoma starts to ignite a little press of their own? Saint in his own third. Long ball up and over the top, trying to find the run of Gerald Margarita. Can he track it all the way down? It goes out of bounds. 99th minute. 5-4, Phoenix in front. Another yellow card came out of the pocket there as well for William Perkins, so 3 cautions assessed in one fell swoop. Formella, Kilwine, and Perkins. Throw-in lost there quickly by Phoenix and Texoma. Tracked only back as far as Saint. Saint in his own half near the semicircle. Fancy footwork from Asenge. All the way back for Tristan Henry. 100th minute. 60 seconds left in what we were allotted. We'll see how far we go. Asenge loses the man who slips out of bounds. Asenge now trying to chip it up and forward for Gerald Margarita, who nods it along for nobody. Everybody has to run all the way back, though. Out of his goal comes Mason McCready, joining the attack in his own right. Shuffles the ball from right to left, moving it out for Reed Valentine. Can Valentine put a good touch on this one? He nods it down and forward. Here comes the run of McCormick, and Quaisho just takes a tactical foul to stop him in his tracks. Yellow card comes quickly out of the pocket here for Emi Quaisho. About 25 seconds left in those 10 added minutes. How far will we go tonight? 99th into the 100th. Emi Quaisho, the man with all the magic right now, scored that 5th and go-ahead goal for Phoenix as they look to get their first ever win in USL Jägermeister Cup play in club history. Texoma trying to beat Phoenix Rising for their first ever time in club history. Phoenix trying to do the same in their own regard. It'll be Philip Spengler, near side touchline, right arm to the sky. Serves a ball to the left-hand side of the box. Knotted away there by JP Skierson crew. Colin Smith, the one to get close to it. No foul ruled. Thrown on the far side touchline, played short. Here comes another chip into the center of the box. Emi Quaisho moves it down and along. Sacco trying to get there. Almost loses the ball, but he keeps up. Stays on his own feet. Sacco dragging it to the corner. 100th minute has elapsed, and into the 101st we go. Goal kick ruled for Phoenix. Throw in. Final third. Reed Valentine. 2 hands over the top of his head. Can McCormick get to it? Stuck in his own corner. McCormick loses it. Throw in the defensive third for Phoenix. 101st dragging on. We'll play into the 102nd, it looks like. Emi Quaisho, the one to walk over and take the throw in here. He'll take his sweet time. 5-4, Phoenix Rising in front. Finally getting their lead in the 96th minute. Still playing. 101st turns to the 102nd. Ball knotted along for the run of Hope Avayevu, trying to get to it in open grass. Avayevu manages to win the challenge. The ball drifting all the way back for Mason McCready. McCready swallows the ball up quickly, rolls the ball out. 102nd minute. 5-4. Phoenix Rising in front. Can they hold on? Quaisho trying to win a ball in the night sky. Knotted along quickly there for the run of Pepe and crew. Center down there. And for Calfo. All the way down the stretch for Valentine. Goes all the way out of bounds. Goal kick, Phoenix. 102nd, still 5-4. officials will let this one play into the 103rd minute. Luke McCormick couldn't quite get there. Texoma trying to find an answer for the Emmy Quayshow screamer. Tristan Henry waving everybody forward. So close here. Henry places the ball on the edge of the penalty area. 8 long steps back, bright pink boots with the all-green kick. A long ball off the right foot of Tristan Henry goes into the night sky. 3 whistles, at least it appears, as everybody goes to ground, and this one is over. Phoenix beats Texoma 5-4 in the USL Jägermeister Cup, avoiding a penalty shootout, but more importantly, their first win in club history in the USL Jägermeister Cup, and it didn't come easy. Easy is not the word that anybody would use for this one. They eclipsed their 4-4 draw against El Paso Locomotive, and just a week after conceding 4 goals to Charleston, they concede 4 again, but they score 5 this time, Sammy O'Brien.
Yes, they do, in a game nobody on the face of the earth expected. Chaos from start to finish. Emmy Quayshow ends up being the hero. Phoenix gets the head-to-head win, the 3 points in the group, so crucially needed, but also 5 goals, which should come into play later on in a potential wild card tiebreaker. Just there's so much to unpack from this game. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything top to bottom. Is just so much happened over these straining 100 minutes, really. But nonetheless, Phoenix comes out on top and outlasts the gritty Texoma FC.
So much going on in USL Cup Group 2. So much. San Antonio currently leading Union Omaha. They sit on top of the group with 3 wins and 9 points as it stands. New Mexico United and Colorado Switchbacks are still knotted, which means that New Mexico and Phoenix stand level at 5 points apiece, which makes this potential final game against El Paso Locomotive in a few weeks so important. We have so much to break down in a 5-4 victory for Phoenix Rising FC and Texoma FC, the first ever club victory in USL Jägermeister Cup history, the first club victory over Texoma in club history. So much to break down between myself, Kevin Cardez, my analyst, Sammy O'Brien. We'll be back in just a moment with the post-game wrap-up show presented by Crown Public House on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL Champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tire simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Coming up Monday on The Lunch Break, how did the Diamondbacks fare in their 3-game set against the Cincinnati Reds? Did they keep the good times rolling, or was it 1 step forward and 2 steps back? Plus, they've got the GM. They've got the coach. The summer of Durant is in full swing. What is the latest on the Suns and their plans with KD? All of it, Monday's edition of The Lunch Break, 11 to 1, right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Time for one last kick of the ball on tonight's match. It's Rising Radio postgame wrap-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
5-4 victory for Phoenix Rising over Texoma FC, their first victory over Texoma in club history, and more importantly, their first ever victory in USL Jägermeister Cup history. So much to break down here on the Rising Radio postgame wrap-up presented by Crown Public House with myself, Kevin Cardez, and my analyst, Sammy O'Brien. Sammy, I don't think anybody expected that one.
No, as we were talking about earlier, from the start, nobody expected Texoma to go out early and then to Phoenix, come back with two of their own, and then Texoma equalizes, and then they go ahead 3-2 heading into the half, and then we end up with 5-4 our final. It was just chaos from start to finish. Heroics from multiple people on both sides. Ricardo Pepi with a couple for Texoma in the first half. Charlie Dennis with a hat trick, and then Emi Quaisho with a little bit of a reminder from the past what he did so well in 2023 with a screamer to put it away in stoppage time.
Emi Quaisho getting back to his late winning ways. That was a beautiful strike in the 96th minute, but not to be left in the dust is Charlie Dennis's 3-goal and 1-assist outing. I'd say 4 goal contributions in one game is fairly good.
Yeah, it's spectacular, really. Dennis with a foot injury that put him out for the first chunk of the season, came back, scored 1 goal a few weeks ago, and now really solidifying himself and giving himself an identity in this squad.
So now taking a look at the live table here in Group 2 for the USL Jägermeister Cup, if everything stands square between Phoenix Rising and New Mexico, Phoenix will take second place in the group above New Mexico due to tiebreaker rules. Colorado Switchbacks will move up to 4 points. El Paso Locomotive will stay at 2. As of now, they have another game to play. They'll sit a game behind. Texoma staying at 2 games played and 2 points. Union Omaha down at the bottom of the table as well. If San Antonio were to somehow lose or draw in the next 10 minutes of their game, everything shifts, and suddenly the group is very attainable for Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, San Antonio has 4 more points than Phoenix live. So again, if that holds, Phoenix is pretty much out of it to win the group. So then it comes in the wild cards. Remember, the winner of each group in the USL Jägermeister Cup advances, and then 2 wild cards, which is also going to be very hard to attain. Looking around right now, Birmingham Legion in Group 3, there's 7 points in second place. Hartford in second place with 7 points. Charlotte Independence with 6 points. A USL League 1 side in Group 5, and as you keep kind of going down the list, it's a long road. And as we talked about in the pregame show, Phoenix Rising absolutely needs 3 points and some goals to help them with the tiebreaker. They got that, the 3 points and the 5 goals, and then a lot of other help, including what we just talked about in potential Union Omaha maybe stealing a point at the best from San Antonio this late into the game.
On the flip side for Texoma, Sammy, we talked so much in the pregame show about, hey, there's no Solomon Asante and the solo week finale having no solo, and it really felt like we were flying solo without solo. Now, Diego Pepi, 20 years old on loan from FC Dallas, nets a brace, and Brandon McManus is scoring and assisting in his own right, getting 2 for himself. I mean, what a performance from Texoma in the League 1 side.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys showed fight from start to finish. As we said, they got the lead all the way early in the 7th minute, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, what the heck's going on? We're actually going to have a game here. Something we talked about last week at the end of the brutal loss over in Patriots Point. Phoenix maybe being able to use this kind of as a slowdown game, kind of maybe a little bit as a recoup, not too much, because again, the game still matters for cup reasons, and it was nothing similar to that. Both sides really got beat up and took each other down to the last couple minutes of the match.
Final stats for you before we head to a quick break. Phoenix had 75.8% of the ball to Texoma's 24. They took 17 shots to Texoma's 8. Texoma converted on 4 of those. They went 50% in terms of shot conversion, something that they do at the top of the League One table. They are one of the best shot converters in the entire league of their own. Only 2 saves all night for Phoenix Rising. Tristan Henry taking Patrick Rakovsky's spot between the pipes for this league game, this non-league cup game, as well as 2 offsides for Phoenix Rising, 9 shots on target to the 6 of Texoma. But the big one, 2.4 expected goals for Phoenix Rising and just 1.01 for Texoma, somehow balloons into a 9-goal fiesta, a 5-4 final score. We'll have more on the USL Jägermeister Cup, what is to come for Phoenix Rising in the event of certain results falling their way or maybe not falling their way as they take on El Paso Locomotive in just a couple weeks, looking to maybe advance out of the group with a chance to win theirs if all stands true. We'll be back for a little bit more of the Rising Radio postgame wrap-up presented by Crown Public House on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL Champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
This is the Rising Radio post-game wrap-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
5-4 your final on the road in Sherman, Texas. The Sherm privy to 9 goals tonight. 5-4 Phoenix on top. Their first ever Jägermeister Cup win. Their first win over Texoma in club history. Texoma's first loss to Phoenix Rising in club history as well. Hopefully a lot more between these two clubs, between US Open Cup draws and USL Jägermeister Cup draws. But Sammy, now everything turns to what's happening in San Antonio. In the 87th minute right now, they're up 1-0 against Union Omaha. You hope for late magic, but then you start to take a peek around the rest of the league and realize that if Phoenix were to get a crucial 3 points and move up to 8 points, there is a chance, and it's not super likely, but there is a chance that they can get out of this one, because you start to look around. In Las Vegas, the current second-place team in Group 1 is finished with 7 points. They've already played their 4th and final game in the USL Jägermeister Cup as it stands. those 4 games that they have played at 7 points, if Phoenix were to win, they would go above them with 8 points. So that knocks off 1. Birmingham Legion at 7 points with 3. If they were to lose their next game, Phoenix Rising with the win would jump them as well. Hartford Athletics sitting at 7 points at 3 games played as well. They'll need things to fall their way, but what seemed like perhaps a long shot is no longer that.
No, it's not, and it comes after a battle, a war that these two teams just provided over 100 minutes and some change. And yeah, it's going to be another battle in about a month or so when we head out to El Paso. We'll be on site for that game when 3 points is absolutely crucial, and then some help. And it's a lot of what ifs and what unknown, and it's basically not completely out of the picture of Phoenix winning the group. So then you kind of take a turn to the wild card determination. There's only 2 spots available out of 6 total groups. The number 1 is total points in the group, but then it also then would go to groups 4 and group play. Phoenix has 8 now, which is a solid number, and then head-to-head earned in group play, and then total wins, and then the 5th is goals against, and then it goes down a few more coming to the 8th thing, which would be a coin toss, which would be absolute mayhem.
I would take an electric coin toss. That sounds fantastic. Let's not get there, though. Let's talk USL Jägermeister Cup at face value, because now we've watched, and you said it yourself, it's sort of a lot of what-ifs and things that you can't control. And I think that the biggest takeaway from the first 3 games that Phoenix has ever played in this cup competition is that you probably shouldn't lose a game. And that goes for pretty much any sport, but this especially. There is very few situations where you can play yourself with a loss into the top of your table, and then if it's only the top 2 runners up in a 6-group system, it's really hard to come out of those if you're going to have a loss on your card.
Yeah, absolutely. When you go looking at the USL Jägermeister Cup standings right now, the only group 6, Greenville Triumph, they're the only ones with a loss at the top of their group right now with just 6 points. That group it's really flipped upside down. Charleston Battery, 6th place, dead last in that group with 2 losses and a draw with just 2 points. That's the best team in the championship, Kevin. That's the craziness, the awesomeness, really, of the USL Jägermeister Cup, obviously, with the 9-goal, just amazing game we just saw. So it's really just proving that and kind of just navigating that and learning lessons of what else more to come and how to prepare for it in the future.
And before we head out and sign off, let's give the man of the match his flowers. 3 goals, 1 assist. Charlie Dennis, what did you see from him tonight that you liked? Because I thought that all of it was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. He was nothing short of phenomenal tonight. He was all over the pitch. The Phoenix was looking for him a lot, especially in that first half. He was great when they were running that kind of 3-man ball between Zian Emmers, Colin Smith, and then Charlie Dennis with the PK, and then he had the header, and just, again, all over the pitch tonight, really kind of being like, hey, I'm back, I am here, after that foot injury that kept him out for a good chunk at the start of this season.
So much work to do tonight for Charlie Dennis, and he responded. 3 goals, an assist. For the little boy from Brighton, England, the 29-year-old did so much, whether it was 37 accurate passes or winning 7 of his 9 duels on the ground and in the air. He won all of his tackles as well with 3 recoveries, and he was never dispossessed. Took 5 corners as well. So brilliant. That's going to do it for us and the Rising Radio postgame wrap-up show presented by the Crown Public House. A 5-4 final. Phoenix Rising takes down Texoma. They notch a few first. Their first ever win in the Jaeger Cup. Their first ever win over Texoma FC. And although they didn't see him, Solomon Asante sat on the sidelines for the finale of Solo Week and watched on as the house that Solo built took down Texoma FC in their inaugural season in USL League One. Phoenix move up in the table and at the current moment sit at 2nd in the USL Jägermeister Cup in Group 2. We'll see what happens for them by the time we get to their next game against El Paso Locomotive on the road. We'll be there for that one as well. A home game up next on the 4th of July. Fireworks against Lexington SC on home grounds. A final return to 38th and Washington before another 3-game road stretch, their longest of the last few years. That does it for myself, Kevin Cardez, my analyst and producer tonight, Sammy O'Brien, here from the bunker in Gilbert, Arizona. 5-4 your final. Phoenix Rising on top. We'll be back for the 4th of July. Fireworks on the way, hopefully on home grounds at 38th and Washington.